Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Hello, this is Zack Sabre Jr., New Japan Cup winner 2018. And you're listening to Keepin It Strong Style with my mates. Enjoy.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh come and hit a job out in Barrio the Frost. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here with the young boy Josh Smith. On today's show, we'll be reviewing nights 15 through 19 of the G1 Climax, answering your questions and covering all the latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show by subscribing to the Social Suplex Podcast Network on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can also get all the podcasts and columns over at socialsuplex.com. This episode of Keeping a Strong Style is brought to you by Powerslam TV. Powerslam TV is an independent wrestling streaming service with over 5,000 hours of wrestling from companies across the world. Use the promo code SOCIALSUPLEX to get your first month free of that service. Also, make sure you check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/socialsuplex. That's where you can get your official Keeping It Strong Style t-shirt, as well as other t-shirts here from the network. All right, we're here. We did it. G1 Climax 29 in the books.
I don't know how we did this. Like, I don't know how we did this. I don't know how you, the listeners, did this. How the fuck did Gato do this? Oh my God. Gato booked it and even he didn't know how he did this. This is crazy.
Yeah, man. This was just another incredible tournament. So many great matches, so many great stories. Yeah, man.
Like, I'm excited, but I'm also like overwhelmed because we've got how many nights right now? 5?
Yeah, we got 15 through 19.
15, 16, 17. Okay, so we got 4 nights to cover, and I'm like, where do we start? How do we do this? Like, like we haven't been doing this for like almost 2 years now.
Yeah,
like we're new or something.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of nights 15 through 18. We're not gonna give like a full in-depth, move for move, blow by blow. We're gonna kind of get quick thoughts on those matches, and then we'll spend a majority of the time talking about night 19, the finals of the show. I know that's what you guys came here for. That's why you hit download. You want to hear?
That's not what they came here for.
What they come here for?
I don't have a bit.
I thought you.
I thought I had a bit, but I don't have a bit. That's what they're here for, is the bits.
one thing before we get started, I wanted to mention this because I know I forgot to put it in the rundown.
Oh, God.
Our man Ricky from the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show hit me up today. He said, he hit me up. He said, "Thank you for playing a part in me watching the G1. It was a slog at times, but only because of time. The wrestling was awesome. So many great matches." He's like, "When you record, I'd like you to relay this message on the podcast so you and Josh get props for making a diehard WWE fan watch the NJPW product and become a fan of it."
Wow. That's the proudest moment of my entire podcasting career.
Oh, man.
Do you remember on the episode of The Office, like the first episode, he's like, my proudest moment wasn't when I cut profit margins. No. He's like, it was a young Guatemalan man who said to me, "Mr. Scott, will you be the godfather to my child?" He's like, wow. We had to cut him, though. He sucked. So that was my segue to let you know, Ricky, you have to get the F out of here. We're serving you your papers. Good luck in your future endeavors. See ya. You've been sidelined.
Oh, man, we can't get rid of Ricky.
It's the Clive show now. He does all those episodes by himself.
Yeah, we have had a couple solo Clive shows.
Oh.
And I haven't talked to Ricky. One of these weeks, we are going to get him on here to review a show. I would say Royal Quest, but I know he'll probably be watching TakeOver Cardiff to see his man Joe Coffey.
I was going to say, where's Joe Coffey going to be wrestling? That's what he'll be watching.
Yeah, so he'll be probably watching TakeOver first, but maybe we can get him to get on that Royal Quest at some point.
Here, okay, before we move on, I think we should both say one nice thing about Ricky. What's your favorite thing about Ricky right now?
Dude, he's the best looking man on the network.
My favorite thing is that he eats buffalo chicken wings with a fork and knife.
Yo, when I saw that picture, all I was thinking about was like, you know, like a vignette of like a rich, like uppity, like heel wrestler, like, you know, something like MJF or EC3 or like Richard Holiday, like these like fancy, like uptight, like wrestlers looking all clean, you know, fresh, good looking, you know, cutting the wings with the fork and the knife, don't want to get the fit messed up. Man.
Modern day William Regal. Although I am still the best looking man on the network. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, we need to have a poll. We need to have a vote and see what the listeners think between you, Ricky, and Tom.
Yeah, but I have to take better photos. I don't have any good photos. Ricky be out here styling, profiling. I don't do all that.
So yeah, we'll get all three of you guys in the suits, and we'll see.
I put my work down in the streets, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh man, I don't know how to follow up on that. So let's.
You can't follow that.
So let's get started. So we're gonna start with A block first. Talk about nights 15 and 17. So as we know, our A block winner, Kota Ibushi, on top of the block. So on night 15, Kota Ibushi defeated Zack Sabre Jr. at 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Really enjoyed this match. I love the chemistry between Ibushi and Sabre. I think these guys always work well together. It's another one of those cases, and just thought it was another great match between these two. You know, Sabre working on Ibushi's ankle, and eventually Ibushi having to fight back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you liked a Sabre and Ibushi match. That's a shocker. Like, when do these guys not deliver? They definitely delivered here. Wasn't their best match that they've ever had, but
right.
At 15 minutes, this was a fitting, you know, addition to their long series of matches. Obviously, they had like that banger earlier this year that still might be like a low-key match of the year contender. A lot of people kind of forgot about. But yeah, this match was great. And I've really enjoyed that aspect of the story that you mentioned, that everyone has continued to go after Ibushi's ankle all throughout the tournament, which that's, you know, been a big deal, especially going into the finals.
Yeah. And, you know, Sabre did, you know, work the submission game, but the downfall that we've been seeing in Sabre matches, he gets too cocky and tries to play the striking game with people he shouldn't be playing striking games with, and you know, could not outstrike the Golden Star. So Ibushi picked up a win there.
He wanted the smoke, but he had to choke.
I went 4 stars flat on that one. Then on night 17, Kota Ibushi defeated the IWGP champion Kazuchika Okada in the A block final, the match to determine who was going to go on to the finals.
Yeah, so this is a great place to start. What a freaking match, man. Like, literally, what an incredible match and contest. And, okay, here's the crazy thing. We're talking about the A block finals. Last year, Kota Ibushi, B block finals against Kenny Omega. And we left that match, which was probably easily like a 5-star match. And we left it being like, kind of felt like they left something on the table. Because they were, basically prepping for another big match down the line. And that's kind of what Ibushi and Okada felt like to me
yes,
here.
I definitely felt they left, like, I didn't feel like they went all out. I feel like there is a better match in them. Of course, I went 4-7-5 on this thing, but, I still think there's the potential for a 5-star, or if you believe in the above 5, I think they could break the scale. But it was an amazing match, great spots. I mean, Ibushi reversing the drop kick into the power bomb.
That really popped me. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's some Tiger Mask W crap right there.
Okada reversing. I think Ibushi was going for the Bomaye running in, and then Okada out of nowhere hits a big drop kick.
Yeah, and Okada reversed the top rope tiger bomb or tiger driver, which was something that Tiger Mask W / Kota Ibushi landed on their match, at the anniversary show a couple years ago. So a lot of callbacks to that. This obviously, before we move on, I want to bring this up. This has been such a protected match. Like, Ibushi and Okada in their actual, proper characters. I don't think they've interacted in like 3 years, if I'm correct on that. Like, it had to have been like a G1 was the last time they had a proper singles match. So they've been like holding off and protecting it. And were you surprised to see them pay it off here, like in the A block finals?
I was surprised. Some people are like, the G1 or New Japan booking can be so predictable sometimes because Gato does follow certain patterns.
You would think.
With this tournament, bro, he's thrown the patterns out the window. We've been saying on the show, on our preview, we said, normally the winner of the G1 does not come out the same block as the champion. So in my mind, I was not expecting anyone from A block to win this thing. I was like, the winner is coming from B block, regardless of who it is. Obviously, we were predicting Naito, but I thought the winner was coming from the B block. So here, not only do they give away this Ibushi Okada match, they here in this A block, it's going to happen again at Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously, we're going to talk about the finals. So I was surprised that this match they were in the same block, plus Ibushi ended up winning.
Now, originally, I did have a criticism. My criticism going into this match was that Okada coming in with 14 points didn't really make too much sense to me at the time, because I was like, he could have easily lost one other match to anybody. I think most people kind of thought maybe like a Ospreay or a Zack Sabre to set up a Royal Quest title shot. We'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's no reason for him to go in with 14 points, because if he came in with 12, they're tied either way. It's pretty much the same scenario. I was like, I don't know why they didn't just have someone else go over on him. But now it makes all the sense in the world, because it boosted the win that Sonata got over him. It made that a way bigger deal in the long run. It gave Okada a really, really strong G1, especially considering the fact he was going to lose to Ibushi here on the final night, which I think we both felt like that was going to happen. As the tournament went on, I started to question that, because it started to look like maybe this is the year Okada does it, but no, not really. But and ultimately, like, we'll talk about Royal Quest, but the way that this is all played out, I couldn't be more thrilled or happy with the actual outlay of the booking on that side, and it's really great here. The only questionable thing, so you already mentioned Kota Ibushi wins the A block. We pretty much, do we want to talk about the fact that who the winner of the G1 was? Do we want to talk about that yet or no?
Well, I mean, by now, everybody knows that Kota Ibushi won the G1.
Yeah, so Kota Ibushi won the G1. We saw him beat the IWGP champion here in the A block. That's such a monkey wrench in the fact that, A, they almost never have the winner of the tournament come out of the same block as the champion, especially if they beat the champion.
Right.
And 2, they usually don't give away the Wrestle Kingdom main event in the same, as a match that already took place the previous calendar year. Now, there's a lot of time between now and January 4th Tokyo Dome, but it seems like this is what they need to do.
Right. And, I believe the last time that a G1 winner beat a champion in a block was 2014, where Okada beat the current champion AJ Styles to win the G1. But then AJ
dropped the belt.
He lost the belt before the Dome, so that was not the Dome match. So there's always the potential of Okada dropping the belt. I mean, I highly doubt that.
Okada, I can't see that.
Yeah.
It's a very big difference between AJ Styles, who was always seen as somewhat of a transitional heel champion, very much in the same light. Like, I think he was seen very much in the same light to, not exactly, but a comparison would be Jay White's title reign. A transitional guy. Like, he was not the main guy. Mm-hmm. That's not at all the same thing as Okada right now. Like, that would be crazy to me. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was a phenomenal match. There was one spot where it looked like Okada was going for the one-wing angel.
I saw that. I thought he was going for it too.
I think he was, but Ibushi blocked it.
Yeah, and I don't think they played it up enough for anyone in the crowd to like really.
Right, it was real quick, real subtle. Like you had to really be like looking like, what's Okada doing here?
I hear my dog Kenny was in Japan.
He was watching the Stardom show. So yeah.
But yeah, this match freaking rocked. Like this blew me away. Kota Ibushi and Okada, like. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. And we're going to talk about it in the news, but, like, this match really drew.
Yeah.
This match really drew on an A-block night that traditionally doesn't draw near the numbers that they drew. So, yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah. So, our next guy on the list is Kazuchika Okada. On night 15, Okada defeated Evil, 27 minutes, 8 seconds.
This match was good. I didn't love it. I was surprised that it went 27 minutes. It reminded me of what had just happened a few nights prior when he fought Sonata, and it was a very similar story in the fact that they went so long. So I was kind of surprised by that. But all in all, this Evil has had a very, very good tournament. And I've said on the show many times, I'm not a big Evil fan, but remember, I think last year I was like, he was just there, just kind of taking up space. No, man, Evil really showed up to play.
Yeah, I think Evil, he's had, I hate to say low-key. I'm only saying low-key because I don't see a lot of people, at least in my circle of influence, talking about Evil. People are talking about your Archers and your Ishiis and your Shingos and your...
Well, they all had better tournaments than him, in all fairness.
They did, but still, I still feel like, like you mentioned, like last year, compared to last year, he had a much better tournament, and I feel like he delivered in a lot of the matches he was in.
Yeah, in some ways it reminds me of like last year Zach or Sonata. Both of those guys were in that B block, and so you didn't hear too much about how great of tournaments they had, even though they did. They just happened to be in blocks that like freaking rocked. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what Evil's situation was. But dude, he stepped it up. He didn't look like a fish out of water. He didn't look like he didn't belong there. He wasn't a guy who was, throwing nights away. Like, he came to play, and look at the adjective, play.
Yeah, I went 4 stars flat on that one. Okada sent that man packing with the Rainmaker, which made the Okada-Ibushi match the finals. The only 2 people alive. So obviously, on night 17, we already talked about Kota Ibushi defeating Kazuchika Okada.
One last thing on that. So obviously, Ibushi came in with 12 points. Okada came in with 14. The only way Ibushi, continues on is if he gets a win and he gets the tiebreaker. Were you surprised that when it went 25 minutes plus that they really never played up the fact that they were so close to the time limit?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because honestly, that was kind of one of the things that probably stopped me from going the full 5. I felt like there was a lot more drama that could have been played up with the fact that Ibushi had to get a pinfall or submission to advance to the finals. I really feel like they could have teased that a little bit more, especially since there's been no draws. I mean, this Okada-Sonata match has been the one match that has been like the closest to a draw. I felt like it could enhance the drama of that match if they had went closer to 30.
And while we're on the subject of match length, I haven't looked at any statistics, but I've got to imagine, given how many long main events he had, Okada's kind of got to be like the Iron Man of this tournament, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and listener of the show, Chris Samsa, you've heard Kevin Kelly mention his name the last few nights. He has done a tremendous job of getting some statistics on match length and time and all kind of great stats. Check him out. He's now writing for Voices of Wrestling. He has some great stuff on there. I believe his site is G1Scorebox.com. So give him a follow. Check his site out with some of the great statistics.
Yeah, I saw him tweet us say that we do good work too.
Yeah, I've been listening to the show.
I was like, what? You listen to us? That's crazy. But here's what I want to know. If Chris is giving them such good statistics and such good math, then why did Rocky and Kevin Kelly keep screwing up the math on the air night after night after night?
He didn't. I don't think he gave them like the points and the scenarios. He was more focusing like on the statistics of match length and.
All right, well then I won't hold it against him. I'm just gonna blame. I'm gonna blame Kevin.
But yeah, so yeah, a lot of great stuff from Chris on great work covering the G1.
And then night 17, we had Lance Archer defeating Evil at 9 minutes and 50 seconds via pinfall, which I actually really dug this match quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match, too. I mean, you got kind of like two hosses going out here, and Lance Archer just... We've been saying it week after week. This man's been on the next level, doing a moonsault from the apron.
Bro, oh yeah, that was awesome. Bro, I loved. There's a lot that I'm trying to remember everything because we watched so much wrestling. But yeah, he looked like he was on Zip Wire, and he looked like he was in a kung fu movie, like or stuntman. Like he didn't like even project himself out. He just like literally flipped in place. Like it was pretty incredible. Yeah, Archer matches just freaking rule, and this was one of my favorite Evil matches of the whole tournament.
Yeah, he had a big choke slam on Evil, hit the F5 on Evil, just busting out all these maneuvers. And then he got the EBD claw out.
And pinned this man.
Yeah, and shout out for Evil for selling, too. He sold that EBD claw like Archer was sucking the soul out of his body.
The funny thing about it was, like, you know, you hear about guys that kick out at, like, you know, after 3 or right at 3, and they kind of, like, undermine the opponent's win or whatever, try to, you know, keep their heat while they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Evil was, like, the reverse of that. Evil was pinned and was trying to kick out. His legs were flailing as hard as he could, but he literally, like, but the upper half of his body just stayed put. And I was like, my God, this claw. I wasn't even over on this claw, but now I'm like...
Dude, Archer got the claw over... you know, being the anime nerd that I am, I kind of envisioned Cell like sucking up like androids like 17 and 18 through his tail, and like them like trying to fight to get out, but they couldn't.
Yo, on that subject, I think that's like one of the most disturbing and sad like moments of DBZ for me as a kid. I was like, wait, what the like? It like made me deal with my mortality way before I was ready to. Can't believe you brought that up on the show.
So next up, we had Will Ospreay on night 15. Will Ospreay defeated Kenta 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, you know what they say, Kenta's washed, and this match was trash, and the Kenta experiment's a failure, and we need to move on. Right? That's what they've been saying, right?
I think that's what the New Japan home base, the Japanese fans have been saying.
Oh, I got a theory on that.
Calling this man Noah trash.
I got a theory on that.
You want to talk about it now or for the angle?
Yeah, I want to talk about it now.
Go for it.
I think it's fake. You ever hear about those Russian bots?
Yeah, there's like Russian bots with like click farms, like you pay. Like you think you're paying like an ad, but they're like paying people to actually like click on your ads and stuff.
All sorts of stuff, or like they'll create like Facebook groups and get you into these groups, and you think you're part of one group, but really it's Russian bots, and you know they're like stealing your identity, or they're like trying to cause conflict and sway majority like opinion, and I think that's what this is, but I think it's Harold Mai. I think Harold Mai and company knew that they were going to try to turn Kenta. So all these quote-unquote Japanese hardcore fan-base tweets, they're just Japanese bots, bro. It's New Japan bots. They set this crap up. This is
So what about the crowd reactions?
They got worked. We're getting worked. They're getting worked. New Japan, bro, this is the new level of work. This is the new level of work. You want to talk about the reality era? This is the reality. We're in the cyber work, bro. Yeah, bro. They worked us. They prepped this shit.
But this was a great match. I love this match. I knew from their interactions in the tag match the night before.
Yeah.
This was going to be fire, and these guys just had a phenomenal matchup, a very hard-hitting, fast-paced matchup. Probably one of Kenta's best performances in the tournament. I know a lot of people want to put all the praise on Ospreay in this match, but I felt like Kenta did his fair share here.
Yeah, this match ruled. Ospreay ruled. Kenta rules. I was a little higher in the match than you. I think you went about 4 stars, right?
I went 4 1/4, actually. I forgot to put the quarter down on my notes.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I was almost at like 4.5, somewhere like 4 and 3, 4 and a third.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that kind of stopped me from going a little bit higher, there was a few kind of botches and a little bit of sloppiness.
Well, that's what people were jumping onto and saying, you know, they were criticizing Kenta for some botches, and I'm like, yeah, you guys got to get over that.
Right, and it was fine. I'm not like trying to blast them because they had botches, but maybe I would have gone a little bit higher if it was a little bit smoother. But Kenta recovered greatly after, you know, slipping from the ropes, fall right up on the attack. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, this was great. I was a little surprised at this point to see Will get the win over Kenta, especially how dominant Kenta was in the early goings of the tournament. But, you know, they kind of got to even things out, make people, you know, do a little bit of parity. And this was a big win for Ospreay, and this was a great match.
Yep. And then on night 17.
Banger alert.
Yes, Will Ospreay defeated the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, 17 minutes and 10 seconds.
All right, so I was super into this match and super emotional. And I got to tell you, I was not ready to see Hiroshi Tanahashi lose in Budokan to Will Ospreay. But he did, and I accept it, and it was a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, one of Ospreay's. This has to be his biggest win of his career, biggest win of the tournament.
Biggest match.
Yeah. And, you know, they worked this like a big style, like New Japan main event.
Yeah, this is the main event house style.
Yeah, Tanahashi worked very smart, you know. He knows that Ospreay is faster. He's a high flyer. He's younger. So, you know, Tanahashi was working on the leg, several dragon screw variations, you know, the Texas cloverleaf, you know, the dragon screw in the ropes, the inverted, trying to slow down Ospreay to get the advantage.
Well, you know, the thing here is Tanahashi went into this night with 4 wins, 4 losses. If he were to lose this match, then that would mean it'd be the first year since, like, I don't know, 2009, I'm guessing, that he was less than 500 in a G1. You know, I don't think since 2010 he's not been in the figuring for the top, like, at least, you know, 2 spots in a block or something of that nature. So this was a shock to many people. I'm sure it busted a lot of brackets. And, you know, the continuing story was the thing that we always talk about, Tanahashi's body breaking down, his age catching up with him slowing down, and him trying to put the pieces together, like the puzzle pieces, to figure out how to be the ace still. And last year he was able to figure it out, but we're a year separated. He was unable to do that. And here he tried to ground a faster, younger, more athletic and agile foe, and Ospreay just took it to Tanahashi. And yeah, Tanahashi did everything in his power to ground him, but age caught up with him. He could not keep up with Ospreay's athleticism, and this was a fantastic story.
Yeah, and Tanahashi did have some great counters in here. There was one spot in the match where he countered the Oz Cutter into a Sling Blade, and another spot where he countered the Stormbreaker into a Sling Blade.
Yeah, I really liked that stuff. I mean, the only criticism, and you know what my criticism is going to be.
What?
That this man Will Ospreay has very selective selling when it comes to
with the leg.
And you know what? It's not that he doesn't sell, because in these matches, especially with limb matches where his leg is hurt, he will sell it, but it's very selective. Like sometimes he'll choose to sell it. A lot of times what he's doing is like he's executing his moves and then selling the leg on impact, which is great. I like that. But very rarely is he modifying any of the maneuvers in any kind of capacity to show the fact that he's selling. I don't think you have to do it all the time, but I mean, if the whole logic and idea behind it is that you're taking an opponent's legs away and then it never really actually plays in the story,
right.
it's a little I don't know what the word is. It just kind of it detracts just slightly.
Right.
Ultimately, still a fantastic match.
Yeah, I won 4.5 on this one.
I'm right there. I agree.
So then we move on to Kenta. We just talked about night 15, the match with Will Ospreay. Then on night 17, he faced Zack Sabre Jr. and was defeated by submission.
I loved this match. I loved this matchup. Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenta signed me up all day. This was one of my favorite strong style matches of the year. Kenta was vicious. Zack was vicious, but in completely different ways. This match was awesome.
Yeah, this was a great match. And again, we kind of saw that what I was talking about earlier with Sabre trying to outstrike a striker and Kenta with those nasty overhand slaps and chops to the face was killing Ospreay. But Ospreay was able to, out-wrestle Kenta and use his submission holds and work on that surgically repaired arm, that shoulder. You see that big scar in the shooter sleeve that Kenta wears, and that was the target of Sabre's attack. And he was finally able to get him in the middle of the ring and put Kenta away with that submission.
My one question with this match, okay, so Kenta had a very strong early half of the tournament, obviously. Mm-hmm. Still finished very strong. Zack Sabre, on the other hand, was a guy who was eliminated super early, and then it kind of seemed like you thought maybe his role would be to play spoiler.
Yeah.
Both these guys ended up getting eliminated due to various circumstances, so that whole scenario never really... We were wrong on that. Never ended up playing out. What did you think Zack's trajectory even was at the second half of this tournament? Like, what was his whole purpose, and were you surprised that neither of these guys were in play towards the end?
I was. Sabre's a guy who's been doing so well in tournaments the last couple of years, and he had a good G1 last year. I think he had like 10 or 12 points.
Yeah.
And then Kenta is coming in, they're pushing him strong. So initially, like when I was booking out my bracket and predictions, I was thinking, one of these two guys are going to spoil each other. They're both going to still be alive, or one of them is going to be alive and the other one's going to spoil them. So I went with, Sabre being the guy that's going to spoil Kenta. And by Sabre beating Kenta, it would keep him from going to the finals. But by the time this night came, they were both already out. So it was almost like this match was almost pointless. I guess it was for points, for pride and rankings, but...
wins and losses always do matter
in
New Japan,
right.
So there's that aspect. And also it's a match that people were happy to see. But I was just a little surprised going into that B block final night, or A block final night, that there didn't seem to be a lot of points to it. And Zack picking up the win over Kenta is a big deal. But at the same time, like, these guys both finish with 8 points. They both finish, on the losing end. And it just seemed kind of more based on catching Zack up than anything else, really.
Right. And also, I wanted to mention, they did a great job kind of telling the backstory behind Sabre and Kenta, and talking about Sabre being the Noah Dojo. And,
I liked that.
And learning from Kenta, and Kenta was kind of a master to him, and now the student is back and better and ready to beat the master.
I guess that's kind of what I was trying to get at. It was like, what was the backstory here? And yeah, that's a great summary. Close it out. The exchanges at the very end with the submissions were fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good match.
Yeah, good match. I went 4.25 on that one.
Same.
Next up, the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, on night 15. Bad Luck Fale defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi at 10 minutes and 5 seconds.
So this was one of the biggest shocks of the tournament for me.
Same here, bro.
Not because Bad Luck Fale can't beat Hiroshi Tanahashi. I think he has before. I'm fairly certain he has.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Fale's role is. He's a guy that can beat pretty much anybody on any given night. But a Hiroshi Tanahashi coming in with 4 wins on night 15, that's surprising to me. And then not only that, the way Fale beat him is even way more shocking. So that's what this was all like. I was like, yeah, Fale's here to lose to Tanahashi so Tanahashi can have a more padded record. And no, I was wrong.
Yeah, same here. I think they're going to give Tanahashi another win. He's going to get double digits.
Yeah.
But of course, we had all the Bullet Club shenanigans. But towards the end, Fale is going for the bad luck fall, but Fale gets countered, but then Fale gets a backslide onto Tanahashi.
So two things. Do you think this was Fale's best match of the tournament?
No, I think the Lance Archer match was.
That's what I agree with that. But I actually like this match. I'm looking at your rating, and I think I'm much higher on this match than you were.
Some of my ratings, I didn't copy all of them over correctly on this document. I went 2.5 on this.
Okay, yeah, I was a little higher than that on this. I thought this was one of the better Bad Luck Fale matches of the tournament. With that being said, I was just, again, I don't know what to say. I was just really shocked. This was the second time that Fale had won with. Yeah, because he rolled somebody else up with Schoolboy. Who was
right?
That?
Was it Kenta? Yeah, it was Kenta.
Yeah, so the night before
night 13,
he rolls up Kenta, and then on this night he gets a backslide on Hiroshi Tanahashi, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? What? Like, what is, bro? Catch Fale,
the ring general.
His catch acumen is so great. But yeah, and then we already talked about Ospreay and Tanahashi, but yeah.
Yep.
We're going to go through grades and all these guys here in a little bit as well. But, yeah, it's shocking.
So, speaking of Fale, he's the next guy to talk about. We just talked about Night 15 defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi. Then on Night 17, he defeated Cold Skull Sonata 10 minutes and 40 seconds with another cradle.
I didn't like that decision. I did not like the match either. I didn't like it because Sonata had just literally beaten Okada.
Right.
So that's my first issue with it. The second thing is I didn't think the match was very good. I think most of the good parts of the match, I've seen some people praise the match, but in all honesty, if you want to be honest, it's really Jado and
Chase Owens.
And Chase Owens interacting with Sonata that makes the tail end of that match. And then obviously, the surprise roll-up finish is actually very entertaining, and we popped for that. It was super hilarious.
Bro, I've been dying laughing at all these surprise Fale roll-ups and cradles.
Bro, we had Shooter Yano last year. We got Catch Fale this year.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, there's tons of the Bullet Club interference. Sonata, being a valiant bayface, fighting both Jado and Chase off, had both of them in the Paradise Lock at one point. And then he goes to fight off Bad Luck Fale. He gets him in the skull end, but then Fale cradles him up for the win.
I mean, like I said, Fale can beat anybody any given night, and usually he's going to beat somebody with a Bad Luck Fall, or he's going to beat them with the grenade. So I guess in one aspect you could say him rolling people up is like quote unquote protecting them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe there's that way of looking at it, but I'm kind of like, well, if you're going to have him just beat people, have him be the monster and beat people.
Right, hit a grenade, hit a Bad Luck Fall.
Don't wait to the end to rack up a few points to kind of try and protect the guy, because he literally, until the last few nights, only had one win. And, he ended up with 3 wins back-to-back on the last 3 nights, which I think was kind of bullcrap a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they were trying to protect him. Like, it was parody booking, which I'm not a huge fan of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, the cradle stuff's been entertaining, but, yeah, I feel like the way Fall has been going, I feel like they should just kept beating him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they'd already beaten him so many times. I mean, I guess that this is their way of restoring him, but, like, I don't know. He's the kind of guy I think you can make him look imposing and legit anytime. Doesn't matter how bad or how good of a tournament he has. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my feeling on it.
Yeah. So next up, the guy he rolled up, Sonata. So on night 15, Sonata defeated Lance Archer at 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
I don't remember a lot about this match, but I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I was trying to look back at notes here. I have it at 3.5. I know it was another good match. There wasn't really much that I remember. The one spot I do remember was just Sonata's incredible vertical leap, doing the jumping leapfrog over Archer, his normal leapfrog spot. But I mean, Archer's so much taller. Even with Archer ducking down,
yeah,
Sonata still had to jump quite a ways up to clear Archer.
Yeah, that match was good. Sonata's had a fantastic tournament. Everyone except for Fale and the A Block has had a fantastic tournament for the most part.
Yeah, and it came down to the end. Archer went for the derailer, but then Sonata jumped over and cradled him up for the win.
So next we have Zack Sabre Jr., and we actually talked about both of his matches.
Yeah, so we talked both about Sabre's matches
and Lance Archer's matches.
Lance Archer's.
So we'll get to some grades and reviews. We actually have a special grading system this year, but yeah, that's gonna do it for those night 15, night 17. Let's move on to the B block.
Yeah, so we're gonna look now at night 16 and 18. Start on top of the B block, Switchblade Jay White. So on night 16, Jay Whiteo defeated Juice Robinson 23 minutes 1 second via submission, the TTO.
I forgot. He beat him with the TTO?
Yes, I believe he modified it to the JTO for this match.
That's funny. Yeah, 23 minutes. God, why don't I remember this match? I feel like I did not love this match.
Yeah, I feel like they're... Oh, actually,
wait, I watched this match.
I went 4 stars flat on this one.
I watched this match. I thought it was... Oh, yeah. We watched this. I thought... That was my Meltzer. Yeah. I thought it was good. Obviously, it didn't capture what they were able to produce at the Cow Palace last year. Mm-hmm. But I thought they played well off of that match and had quite a few callback spots to that, actually.
Yeah, they did.
But Jay, just being the, intelligent heel that he is, was able to capitalize on a lot of the mistakes that Juice was making in the match. Obviously, there was a lot of shenanigans with Gato, which there has been the entire tournament,
right.
Obviously.
And, it came down to that chair that got involved towards the end. Juice was going to try and do the pulp friction on the chair, but then White was able to counter and slam him down on the chair. And then he followed up with chair shots to the knee, locked on the JTO, and submitted Juice.
Yeah, and I think that is very interesting because that was like a foreshadowing of what was to come between him and Kota Ibushi in the finals. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, pretty good match, though.
Then on night 18, we had Jay White defeating Tetsuya Naito to advance to the G1 finals.
Shook.
Yeah.
I was shook, bro. I was shook. I could not believe this.
Bro.
And bro, okay. Like, the day or two before, we were sitting around and, like, every now and again, I don't know if you remember this, every now and again, I would look at you and I'd go, is Jay White going to the finals? And then you'd be like, he could. And I'm like, no, he's not going to. And then, like, we'd sit there and I'd be like, fuck, Jay White might be going to the finals.
Well, dude, I don't remember. We were over at listener, friend of the show, Dan Coffin's house. We were watching the NXT Takeover Toronto on Saturday, and during that show, I was like, we were watching the A Block night before Takeover,
right?
And I was like, how blown would you guys be if Jay White won tomorrow?
Yeah,
and like nobody really wanted to comment.
There was like an audible groan. Everyone was like, oh.
And I think James was like, I'll be fine until he wins the whole tournament.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so, I mean, let's start with this. The match was good. It wasn't a great match. Mm-hmm. It was a good match between them. It was probably a 4-star affair. So, I mean, that's a good match. Really, that's a really good match. I was shocked, bro. I was shocked.
Dude, I was shocked. Like, because he's been doing that new, cross-armed Bloody Sunday.
Oh, remember? I called it a Bloody Sunday at first, and everyone was like, no, it's not that. And then they officially announced that it's the cross-arm Bloody Sunday.
Yeah.
I like that move a lot,
yeah,
actually.
And so that's when the setup for the Blade Runner. So he hit that. I was like, bro, he beat him. Bro, he beat him. And then he picked him up, hit the Blade Runner. I was like, he beat him.
Bro.
1, 2, 3. First, I was in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, they beat Naito.
Yeah, but then
then I started laughing.
But then you fucking laughed, you asshole.
I don't know. It was like hilarious to me
because you couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you were like shocked, and I was like dismayed. I was appalled. I was so upset, bro.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
even like really a Naito fan. That's the funny thing. I think sometimes in the show I might sound like it, but it's more so because of my idea of what the booking is gonna play out as, Mm-hmm. But like, I'm not here. I mean, how often do I sit here and cop for Naito? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But bro, like, here's the crazy thing. Jay White and Naito had very, very similar trajectories in this tournament where they both started off, well, Jay started off, 0-3 and had to go undefeated the rest of the tournament, whereas Naito was 2-1, but then lost his fourth match to Moxley, I believe.
Yeah.
So then he was 1-4, and it was like he might already be out. And then so for both of those guys, and then obviously Moxley had tiebreakers over lots of guys. So for them to end up in the finals on the final night, both of them alive, and this to be the determining match for both of them, it was like, which way do you go? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And to me, it seemed, I was still of the belief. Well, when Ibushi won, it really gave me pause. It really gave me pause because this whole time I have been thinking from day one, they're not doing Naito and Ibushi again. Mm-hmm. Like that just, there's a lot of things they will do, and that just does not seem like one of them. But at the same time, I was like, well, it looks like they're doing Ibushi and Naito.
Well, because I felt very strongly that they weren't going to do Ibushi Naito also. Like, so something in my gut, I was like, yes, they could still draw.
They're going to give us a finals that we've seen 3 times this year?
Right, but I was like, man, they're just not going to do that. So once Ibushi won, that's why I kind of threw that comment out at the party. I was like, how blown you guys be a Jay White win? Because I just had a feeling, like, they're not going to do Ibushi Naito again.
Okay, so Jay White beats Naito. We've gotten that out of the way. Do we want to have a discussion about the implications here, what this means?
Yes, and we have a lot of questions about this match. I put it down in the Naito section, but
we should probably talk about it now.
Yeah. So first question from Reddit user JQNCG says, the obvious, what is next for Naito, and if the IC title will be his ceiling from now on?
Oh, man. I don't know what's next for Naito. I don't know if the IC title is his ceiling. But I'll say this. When we first started this show, we started a few months before Wrestle Kingdom, what was that, 12?
Yeah.
Okay. And at the time, I had predicted accurately, I was one of the few, one of the only ones out there, I was like, Okada's going to beat Naito. Part of my rationale at the time, and I actually don't remember my entire rationale. I had a whole idea about why it was going to happen.
Look back in the archives if you want to hear that.
Yeah, there's a good rant in there. But ultimately, one of the main things was I was like, there's money in the chase. There's more. It makes more, like, it would establish Okada as a legendary champion, which it did. Mm-hmm. And then it gives Naito a story arc for a redemption. And then we waited a year, and it didn't happen. And we're like, oh, next year is going to be the year. And then they set it up to bring him right to the freaking pinnacle. And then they took the rug out from every single diehard LIJ and Naito fan.
Literally, they had him right there.
They had him right there.
All he had to do was beat Jay, and he'd be in the finals.
Listen, I don't want to get too religious on our podcast, but I remember one time I was at a church. I heard this sermon called Judas Kissed the Gates of Heaven and Went to Hell. And that's what it felt like. It felt like Naito was right at the gates of heaven, and they told him, go to hell. Because, bro, at this point, we are going to have to come to the conclusion that there is no redemption arc. Right. This is literally just a tragedy. They're not doing it. And if they do, let's say 6 months from now, let's say they decide to do it, they've missed the boat. We like to talk about them passing the peak. You watch a match and the match goes too long and you're like, oh, they were at the peak, they passed it. Bro, they are passing the peak on Naito. That doesn't mean he's not still going to be popular.
Right. He came out on the finals night, still a huge pop. Whole crowd, Naito. Bro,
this is starting to get into that sort of feeling that you sort of had when you were watching Kushida the last few years, where you're like, well, what's left for him?
Right.
The only thing that was left for him is to go heavyweight, and they were never going to do that. What's left for Naito? It's the thing they needed to do, the thing that fans wanted to see, and not just wanted to see, but specifically in this situation, him against Okada, Destiny, title for title, like the redemption, you know. And I thought it was going to be similar to like, you know, they did every 2 years they did Austin and Rock at WrestleMania. This felt very similar, like a generational feud. Every 2 years at Wrestle Kingdom, you get Okada and Naito, and they were following that trajectory. I don't know if they ever were planning to go with Naito. Right. At this point, it seems like maybe not. Like, I don't think this was an audible. This was the booking scenario. This is what Gato's vision was, and I really got to question it. I really
I mean, the only hope for Naito is the fact that that Okada match has been protected since that last match they had.
That's the only thing. Why have they been protecting it for so... They've only been in the ring in multi-man tag matches since for almost 2 years now.
Right. So that's the only hope. It's like they got to be saving that match for something, right?
But here's the thing. Are we going to pass over the Ibushis, the Jay Whites, the Will Ospreys, the Shingo Takagis, and, you know, the Jon Moxleys and whoever else you have? We're going to pass all those guys over for an aging Naito. It really seemed like, to me, maybe I'm wrong, that this needed to be the time. And it makes me feel like that whole feud between Ibushi and Naito earlier this year was really representative of what's happening here. You know, even though at the end, like, I guess, quote unquote, Naito won, Ibushi was kind of killing him in that.
Who really won?
Who really? Bro, remember when Rich made that joke? He was like, the real winner of this feud will be the loser because they'll get to go to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because the loser will be stuck with that white belt.
Yeah.
Bro, he was right. I didn't think he was right, but dude, he should come out here and take a freaking victory.
And you know, we had several listeners too with Ibushi signing that lifetime contract. Like, is Ibushi signing going to derail plans for Naito? Now, I don't know what the booking plans were, but finally getting Ibushi on paper, and you know, Ibushi, he looks young, he's in great shape, but he is a little bit up there in age.
He's not young,
so it's like, maybe Gail's like, I got this guy signed. Like, I got to pull the trigger now on this guy. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Is Ibushi going to beat Okada at the... I mean, we got a lot of time to think about it, but, like, he just beat him the other night. Is he going to really go to... I mean, they've got a lot of time to book it, but, like, this crap, it seems... Bro, we can't come on this podcast anymore and say, fans of Naito, be patient. Just
we've been saying
we can't say just wait. We can't say
tranquilo.
Yeah, tranquilo. We can't say any of that. I think I've made some pretty hyperbolic like claims in the past where I've been like, oh, I'll do this if they don't do. But like the reality is, I do feel slightly dejected about this because, bro, Naito's like been a company man all these years and like. Been that dude, he got himself over, he freaking reinvented himself, like he sold all this merch, had all these fantastic matches, literally like destroyed his neck, and you kind of thought at some point that they would pay this off, and they're not gonna, bro. They're just not, like, and if they are, then
it's gonna be too late.
If they are, then, you know, Rich can do another like
rant,
and he can use this audio clip where we're talking about how they're not going to do it because right now it really looks like they're not going to do it, and that's crazy to me.
So the next question from Rambone Slam Pig. He says, do you think Naito will explore his other options elsewhere in the wrestling world after his current contract is up? It seems that he is never going to reach that pinnacle in NJPW before his body gives out.
I don't know, because I don't know what kind of mindset he has as a worker or as a businessman. You know, as much as we are marks for this stuff, I don't know how much he's a mark for this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he is obviously, I don't want to say playing a character, because then Jeremy will go, character?
What character? Dude, I got a meme I made of Big Daddy that I've been waiting for years. I'm just waiting for somebody in the group chat to say something about actor characters. So I can just pop that Big Daddy. Act! What act?
Nobody knows who Big Daddy is. Like, we're not talking about Shirley Crabtree. We're talking about Tampa Bay Pros, Big Daddy.
Right. Manager of the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
Oh, man. You know what's funny is, like, Rod Grimes probably listening to this right now and popping.
Shout out to the scoundrel, Rod Grimes.
But, Yeah, man. I just, this might be where he belongs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not actually be he might be making fantastic money, and this might be the perfect and ideal place for him to be, and he might be completely tranquilo about this. You know what I mean?
Right.
On the other hand, some guys, and I gotta imagine there's a good chance that Naito probably fits in this category. Guys who are driven professionally to be the best, to be recognized and paid, and again recognized as the best. And that just might not happen in New Japan. And with these guys having the autonomy to fit their own views and ideas into the character that they represent, him bringing up, the fact that he doesn't know why he's the IC champion, he doesn't know why he's not the IWG.
Yeah.
How much of that's a work? How much of that is a shoot? Is there a chance that if I'm Tetsuya Naito and we keep talking about how he's the new quote-unquote Nakamura, what did Nakamura do? He gave his body a rest, he went and made bigger money, and he's going to retire a rich man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Naito going to keep killing himself to not be the champion and make less money? Or should he explore his options and maybe get that con money?
Yeah.
I bet you they make him the AEW champion if he goes to freaking Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, now, like, we talk about, like, Nakamura and AJ and all those guys. Like, WWE was pretty much the only option to go after New Japan.
Yeah.
Now you got AEW, and the wrestling world has been turned on its head these last couple of years. There's a lot more places to go, a lot of places to make money.
Yeah, and think about other guys who have made a lot of money, like Cody Rhodes, Shima, John Moxley, guys who have kind of struck out on their own and even done the whole independent thing, the World Traveler thing. Naito's a big name. He's a big name, and he could probably make great money if he wanted to, and just go out on his own if he wanted, and then eventually sign somewhere, and it doesn't have to be New Japan. So
right.
I don't know that he'll do that. This is just speculation, but I think it's very possible, especially if they're not going to ever go with him.
Like, honestly, like, come, January time, I wouldn't be surprised if Naito leaves after the Dome.
Although that LIJ money's got to be good.
True.
They sell a lot of merch.
Yeah. Next question from William Johnson. And this was in all caps. He says, "Why does Gato hate Naito? I hope you have an answer because I am Dead Sea levels of salt." Yes, I'm very aware my question is all caps.
We don't know. We literally don't. In this business, it could literally... I mean, Gato might not hate him. This might just be where they... I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do got to question it. Like, I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but this is kind of mind-boggling. Like,
I mean, this is a topic that a lot of people are still talking about, so it deserves a time.
Okay, so when Naito didn't win the title at the time, he was white hot during his title challenge against Okada at the Dome. It seemed like that was the time to go with him. And then at that time, I had called again for him to lose because I was like, it gives him a great story arc. But now it's 2 years later almost. We're not getting that great story arc, and his booking has been very, even though it's favorable, up and down. He's definitely a featured act, but he's not featured as the top act.
Right.
He hasn't had a title shot since then. He hasn't had one. Like, how is that possible? He hasn't won a tournament since then. He's just been stuck with the IC title, and he's been in feuds with Suzuki and Chris Jericho and Ibushi. These all kind of seem like just distractions, and we've just been saying over the years, like, wait till, have patience, wait till, they got this. And the main thing is, like, it really felt like there was going to be a payoff. New Japan almost always consistently pays things off. There's a part of me that wants to interject right now and says, well, we don't know. Maybe Gato has a plan, but you can't say that for 2 years because then you just look like a fool.
Right. I mean,
you look like a fool, and I think Naito's one of the most popular wrestlers in New Japan, and I mean really, like, not just for Western fans, but like around the world. This is super suspect to me.
Yeah.
Super questionable.
Well, the only thing LIJ fans can really hold on to is they're saving the Okada match, and there's 2 domes. So,
Is there any chance? Do you see any chance that we wind up with an IWGP title match between him and Okada, or vice versa, just a match between him and Okada at the Dome in general?
I mean, it's possible.
Like, could Okada lose his belt and then challenge for the IC belt? That's something I thought about.
Or Okada can retain on night 1 and face Naito on night 2.
Back-to-back title defenses?
Yeah.
That seems questionable. What if he defends on night 2 and then Naito wins? Doesn't that taint the victory for him? Maybe
a little bit.
Unless they both had matches the night before.
Yeah.
Maybe
Naito defends the IC belt on the first night as well.
But how do we get there? And then what about here's the thing. But what about Ibushi? Because, bro, Ibushi at this point, we're going to talk about him, but he's made, bro.
Yeah.
Like, with what they've done with this final, right now, Naito's not the right guy to go with. He could have been if they had decided that he was, but they didn't, and now he's not.
Right.
At this point, he should not be fighting Okada for the title because the booking has dictated so. And that does kind of suck for Naito fans in a way. Yeah, who knows? We might be looking back on this come January time and being like, we didn't see it. We're idiots.
We're simple marks. But the last question on this comes from Reddit user Morbid Suplex. Says, why does Gato hate Naito? Is there any chance Naito defeats Ibushi for the case, goes to Wrestle Kingdom next year against Okada and win? Would next year be Naito's last chance of main eventing the Dome? So I don't think there's a chance of Naito defeating Ibushi for the case.
That'd be a bad booking decision.
So in the news we'll talk about this, but there was a post-match press conference where Ibushi answered several questions, and he mentioned that he will be defending the briefcase against Evil and Kenta, the 2 people who beat him in the G1. So Naito has no claim whatsoever of another match with Ibushi and a contract match. So that would be bad booking and would come out of left field.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I don't know what else to say. I think I've said it all.
Yeah. So do you think that this is next year would be his last chance of main eventing the Dome?
I don't see it. I think this is it. I don't see him main eventing the Dome, man.
So yeah, so if it doesn't happen January 4th or 5th, 2020, then it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I could just be wrong, but yeah, I don't see it right now.
All right, so that's all the Naito questions for now. Back on track with the rest of the B block. So Jon Moxley on night 16, Hiroki Goto defeated Jon Moxley at 8 minutes and 45 seconds. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so the Goto Moxley match, I actually thought it was pretty good, believe it or not. And I know there's probably some people listening like, of course you liked it, Goto won. No, that's not it. I actually thought the finish was very flat. It came from out of nowhere. This was a short match. What I liked about it, I liked Jon Moxley in this match. Although, every week I say that I think Jon Moxley is good. I just think he hasn't been wrestling up to the level. I think that he's assimilating to this style quite a bit. Some of the things that I've seen him do throughout the tournament, the last few matches, he has not been doing. The weird protecting himself when he takes these big bumps. Not that you shouldn't protect yourself, but the way he's been doing it, it's very, it's been weird. No more of that. The soft strikes. Remember I was complaining about the soft strikes? Those are gone. We're getting strong, stiff forearms from Jon Moxley. We're getting in-ring work from Jon Moxley. He's not brawling all over the place. Yeah, he pulls out a table everywhere, but I'm kind of resigned to that. Like, okay, he's always going to pull out a table. Fine. Remember the other week when you said with Suzuki, did I have a problem with Suzuki brawling all the time, versus Jon Moxley? And I was like, no, because when Suzuki gets in the ring, he freaking delivers. I think John's starting to deliver. The last few matches before this, I started to notice that, and I think this match with Goto, he kind of came into his own. I could see him and Goto actually have it. I thought him and Goto had good chemistry, believe it or not. And I think they could probably, not that they'd have a match that meant anything, quote unquote, because I don't know what kind of story you could tell there. But I thought that the action was good. But then it just kind of came out of nowhere. And
yeah,
he got GTR'd, and that was it.
I mean, that was the main problem with this match for me. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I went 3.5 on this one. For me, I just felt it was too short.
Yeah.
Especially for the way that Moxley has been built. I mean, he was built like a killer. He was mowing people down throughout this tournament. And then now we're at night 16 with the end of this tournament, and Goto just like beats him in 8 minutes like it's nothing.
I think, here's my thing. I think, in a way, Gato slightly booked himself into a corner and had to create a scenario where Goto beat him, obviously. We talked about last week how I didn't agree with him losing, 4 times in a row?
Right.
Didn't agree with that. I still don't agree with it, to be honest with you. But with that being said, they were like, well, how do we get Goto to beat him? Does it devalue Jon Moxley more if they go to war and have like a big long war and then he beats him? Like, that's a big win for Goto. Or maybe you just do you have Jon Moxley essentially pretty much squash him and Goto rolls him up or some other shenanigans?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, that might be some more of the things that I haven't liked about his run in the G1. So they're like, you know what? Let's bite the bullet. Have him go out there, have a solid match. Out of nowhere, Goto gets the surprise upset. It's the G1, people lose. That's what happens. And yeah, that's what happened here. I literally think they got to a point where they're like, well, what do we do here?
Yeah.
Just go out there and do it. Just bite the bullet. You guys have 9 minutes. Go make it happen. And I think that's what happened here.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like you mentioned, it was a GTR kind of out of nowhere, reversing out of the Death Rider.
I think part of it's like you have a short match that's not super memorable, but that's solid. And then, when people are talking about this, they're not really talking about that win so much. It's just kind of an afterthought.
Right.
Like, just go out there, have a solid, forgettable match that no one's going to talk about.
So then on night 18, Juice Robinson defeated Jon Moxley 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Real quick, here's how forgettable it is. I don't even like the booking decision at all, but the match is so forgettable that I can't even be outraged. I'm just like, that's what they did. That's what they did. Let's move on. But yeah, so Juice Robinson, Jon Moxley. Bro, I really liked this match.
I like this match too. It was not as good as the first one at Best of the Super Junior Finals.
No, it was not.
But I still thought it was really great. I went 4 stars flat on here.
I was higher on it than that.
Were you like 4.25?
I don't know exactly. Bro, my ratings are... We've watched so much wrestling, it's hard to know. All I know is that I thought night 18, by the way, was one of the best nights of the entire tournament.
Yes, night 18 is one of the best nights of the tournament. It was definitely probably the best B block night overall.
I think it's a card of the year, like possibly it might be a card of the year. But this match really ruled. Obviously, the story here, Juice Robinson has been on the trail of the Death Rider all tournament long, and it's been building and building. What I loved about this match, Juice would not play Jon Moxley's game.
Right. He knew from the Best of Super Junior Finals, he tried to brawl with Mox. It didn't work. That caused him to lose.
And what I liked about that is this. I complained a lot about Jon Moxley's brawling and all that, but if it ultimately ended up leading to this, then I kind of backtrack on some of that because they did such a fantastic job establishing that that's Jon Moxley's game. Everybody played the game. Every single guy that he fought tried to do that. Juice studied him the entire time, and when it came time for a tail to come out, nope, you're going to go back. Chair, nope, you're going to go back.
Right.
And I was just, nope, we're going inside. Like, he literally, came up with a game plan specifically tailored to Jon Moxley, and I think that made this match, a lot better in my mind, ultimately because of that.
Yeah. And, yeah, I love that story of Juice, trying to be that valiant babyface, have that game plan and not cheat. Also, another story element of this match was Juice's leg. Mox had attacked the leg post-match the night before in their undercard tag match. And so Mox focused a lot of his offense on Juice's leg to try and get a submission win out of Juice. But Juice was able to kind of fight through the pain and fight back, hit that big left hand of God and the Pulp Friction to beat Jon Moxley and set himself up for a future U.S. title match.
Yes. So, How excited are you for another Juice Moxley match?
I'm pretty excited, and getting a little bit ahead here, but on the post-match from Night 19, Mox said, Juice, you can have your rematch as long as we do it, no disqualifications. Juice said, I guess I'll have to do it your way. So it seems at some point we're going to get no DQ, Mox versus Juice. We don't know when it's going to happen just yet. But if it's going to be anything like the Best of the Super Junior final match, I'm all for it.
Here's the thing with that. And I just want to say, along with that, Juice changing the game plan to make Jon Moxley wrestle his style match, I'm not just saying this because, listen, I know that there's people that don't agree with my opinions on Mox or whatever, and if I don't really care about that, ultimately. So I'm not saying this to backtrack on it so that those of you who disagree, for those of you that disagreed, we disagree. But I will say this. I thought Jon Moxley was really good in this match. I thought he was really, really... I didn't think it was just Juice. I think these guys both work really well together.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
They have great chemistry. I think Jon Moxley has really assimilated very well. And not only that, what I'm talking about, too, I saw a lot on the undercard tags. Just the small nitpicky things that I didn't like the strikes and the bumping and him eating the guys alive. He didn't do that on these last few nights, and he was still the Death Rider. He was still charismatic. He was still over. He still brawled. He still did all the things I liked, but he's cutting out the things I didn't like. And not that I would. And here's the other thing: I was never not in on Mox because I liked Mox the moment he came into the company. They just started turning things a bit when I started seeing him eat guys up like Ishii and Naito and crap like that. And some of the, it was always the actual match layouts that I didn't like.
Right.
But man, I think that these matches were, especially this Juice match, I thought it was laid out really well. And I think Mox is getting, and it happens to everybody, bro. Everyone who comes to New Japan, they get better.
Right.
And they're all good, but they get better.
And Juice was a perfect example. I mean, when he first came in, fresh out of FCW, NXT, it was like, yeah, he's a fine worker, but he's not to New Japan standards. But, his time in the dojo and working all those undercard tags, and eventually, the rivalry with Goto, the rivalry with Jay White, all these, the rivalry with Cody, Juice got better and better and better, and now he's a way better wrestler than he was when he first stepped in.
I felt with Mox like some of that stuff early on was like smoke and mirrors. And maybe you could and that might be a negative way to say it. Another way to say it is accentuate the positives.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's starting to feel like he's becoming more well-rounded to where he can do this house style of New Japan. Maybe he always could, and they just weren't showing it. But now it seems like he really is coming into his own, and it is getting me very excited for what he does here. And I gotta tell you, I'm way more in on Jon Moxley in New Japan than I am him in AEW. And I'm not an AEW hater, but I'm not that hyped about him in AEW the way that I am about this guy right now. I'm excited to see what happens next. And also, because Juice just beat him, I could easily see Jon Moxley winning the feud. He probably will, because Juice already got the big win over him on the final night.
Yeah.
And now they're going to fight Moxley style. I bet you Mox beats him.
Yeah, for me, all this depends on what his future looks like in New Japan, how the travel schedule is going to work between that and AEW. I don't know if this is a thing next week whenever they announce the Destruction cards, is it going to be Juice versus Mox, and then that's his last match until Wrestle Kingdom, and they want to get the belt off of him.
Maybe.
So I don't know. You got some U.S. shows coming up. You think you'd want the U.S. champion on those shows, so maybe they do that quick turn so you can get Juice on those shows. Or, maybe they go your way. Maybe Mox beats him, keeps the U.S. belt until Wrestle Kingdom, and defends against somebody big at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know.
That's what I think is going to happen. I don't see any... It's not an important belt. I don't see any reason to take it off of him. Keep the belt on him. Make him defend it at Wrestle Kingdom. Juice loses a lot, so... But yeah, this is great.
So next up, Tetsuya Naito. Night 16, Naito defeated Jeff Cobb in 11 minutes.
Yeah. He beat Cobb.
Yeah,
pretty good. It was an okay match.
It was an okay match. Honestly, this is one where I really don't remember much from. It was.
Do you feel like that with most of Cobb's run?
Pretty much. I mean, it was this match was just kind of there. I think I went 3 stars flat on it.
It's good shit.
I went 3.25. I mean, there's just really not much to say with this match. I mean, Cobb did his standing moonsault and his power stuff. Naito was tranquilo, did his Ranas, his eye rakes.
Here's a hot take. I'm not surprised that this match wasn't great because these were the 2 underachievers of the tournament. On a night where both of them probably saw it as like they were not high up on the card, right? They were like were they the opener that night 16?
They were the second match.
Yeah, so I mean they were slotted in a lower slot. Both of these guys have underperformed throughout the tournament. I was not surprised that this match didn't really deliver, even though it should have. Even though both guys are talented enough that it should, it didn't. And that's pretty much it. It was fine.
The one cool spot that I remember was the that F5000.
Oh yeah, he did that F5000.
That Cobb did to Naito.
Yeah, Naito took it like a champ.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, just another match.
You know what? For a minute, I was starting to feel like maybe I didn't even watch it, but then you just mentioned the F5000. I was like, no, I definitely did watch this match. Yeah.
And then we already talked about night 18 with Jay defeating Naito. So then we move on to Hiroki Goto. Night 16, Goto defeated Jon Moxley. We talked about that match. Then on night 18, we had Shingo Takagi defeating Hiroki Goto. And man, this was a hell of a match. You want to talk about, 2 big beefy dudes just beating the crap out of each other. That's what we got here in this semi-main event of with Shingo and Goto.
Yeah, this was great. Goto works really well with certain guys. Shingo's one of the guys he works really great with. I just remember this being very violent, but the one thing that this match has left me with, and I will never, ever forget, was that lariat, that pumping bomber that Shingo hit Goto with. I literally think it might be the single greatest lariat that I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, bro. I'm sorry, Kojima, but I think Shingo is now the owner of the strongest arm because he decapitated Goto with that pumping bomber.
Bro, I made you rewind it a few times just so I was like, did that really just happen that way? It's right at the end of the match. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to at least see the gift of
I'm sure several people have gifted up. There's videos out, but yeah, I mean,
bro, Goto, it looked unreal. It did not look. Lots of times, so he gets freaking lariated and he flips all the way over, and you see lots of guys do that, and many times, and I'm not knocking this. This is fine. Guys get hit, and you kind of know that they're working with the guy because they do the whole flip, and you see them do the flip. This looked like Goto never had any sort of effort whatsoever. It looked like the freaking clothesline literally knocked him into next week, and he his body actually did the flip on its own. It wasn't
right. It wasn't like him trying to do a cool sell.
Now I know it probably had to be, but it didn't look that way.
It did not look.
The momentum was so freaking hard.
Because it was so Shingo was running in to do the pumping bomber, but it looked like Goto was running in to either do his own lariat, or maybe sometimes he does that.
He was going for his own lariat,
or that running duck under a sleeper he does sometimes.
No, he was going for the lariat.
But freaking Shingo just overpowered him.
They were going for the James Boyd spot, and Shingo said,
"Nah,
hold this pumping bomber." Oh my god, yeah. So Shingo ended up beating Goto. This was a really good match. It's a strong style candidate. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to see it. Really good match.
Yeah, it finished him off with the Last of the Dragon. I went 4.25 on this one.
I'd agree.
And so next we move on to Taichi. On night 16, Toru Yano defeated Taichi at 5 minutes.
Yeah, via countout. Was this your weakest match of the tournament, as many people predicted it would be?
Yeah, I think this was my weakest match. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I went 2 stars on it.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I mean, it was funny. It was entertaining for
what
the
it
5 minutes what it was. I mean, it's not much, analysis to really do there. I mean, Yano. He rolled up Kanemaru and Taichi with the ring apron. They couldn't get untangled and got the count out. The post-match promo, though, was hilarious from Taichi and Kanemaru. And Taichi was like, why were your lips on my lips? Why were you stuck on top of me? He's like, this was horrible. I was stuck with that old man. I couldn't escape. So that was pretty funny. And then on night 18, Taichi defeated the never open weight champion Tomohiro Ishii 12 minutes and 5 seconds. This match freaking rocked. Straight from the bell, we got Dangerous T. No gimmicks, no interference, no Iron Claw, no mics, no Mio Abes, no Kanemaru. Straight up Taichi. As soon as the bell rang, bam, Axe Bomber. I think he followed up with a last ride. Almost pinned Ishii within 10 seconds. And then the whole match, it was just those guys going back and forth. Strong style matchup, man.
Hey, here's a hot take. Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii is a feud of the year contender.
It is. I don't think it's a hot take.
Well, I don't feel like a lot of people are thinking necessarily like a feud of the year. But bro, they've had 3 bangers this year. 3 bangers, and they've all been legit bangers.
Yeah, Ishii has been bringing out the best in Taichi,
and Taichi's had a really good tournament. Like he's basically, I don't want to say he's as good as Archer because I don't think he has been, but he's the Archer of the B block. He's the overperformer, the guy, the breakout guy. He's the guy that people expected the least out of and delivered the most. Now, I'm not saying every match he had was great, but more often than not, he over-delivered on what people thought he was going to do. And, last year he got excluded from this tournament, and he showed he belonged here. And, now I'm like, Taichi in next year's G1, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This match freaking ruled.
Yeah, I love this match. Went 4 1/4 on this one.
I was shocked at I liked all their matches this year. This was the shortest of them. I think it was the best.
Yeah.
I think it was the best.
Dude, I think if they had a few more minutes, it would have been even better, too.
And again, look at night 18, bro. Taichi versus Ishii, Shingo versus Goto, Juice versus Moxley, freaking Naito and Jay White, which might be the underperforming match. And it was still a great match, but the underperforming of that list of matches. Night 18 ruled, bro.
Yeah, night 18 was great. And so moving on to Tomohiro Ishii on night 16. He had that epic encounter with Shingo Takagi. Shingo defeating Ishii 22 minutes and 50 seconds.
You want to know a secret?
What?
This is one of the only matches of the tournament I haven't seen.
Bro, you haven't seen Shingo and Ishii?
I got busy, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I told you at the beginning of this tournament that there's a chance I'd miss whole nights. I haven't missed a whole night, but for whatever reason, bro, it's just I got behind, and then I was like, well, I watched most of 16, and then some stuff came up, and I don't want to get into it. I just never got around to it. I know I need to see it. I've had people personally reach out to me, and they're like, this will be your favorite match of the tournament. I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. This was epic main event. I went 4-7-5. These guys just went out here and freaking killed each other. The lariats, the chops, the pumping bombers. Freaking Shingo on that Made in Japan, which is so awesome. I wish the Made in Japan was still his finisher.
And remember when we started talking about Shingo moving up to heavyweight, what was the one match that I think we both, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I feel like the first guy I mentioned was, I can't wait to see him fight Ishii.
Yeah. And
now it's happened, and now I haven't seen it, and now everyone is praising this match like it's one of the top matches of the year, and I'm like, dang it, I can't believe I didn't see it yet. I'm gonna watch it for sure, but yes.
But yeah, great stuff. Definitely one of the top matches of the tournament. And set Shingo up. Shingo, he beat Ishii and Goto back to back, and he came out in the press conferences or the post-match promos saying, he's not declaring himself a heavyweight, and he's planning on moving forward, going in the heavyweight division.
That's awesome.
So we could potentially be getting a Shingo never title match maybe down the road.
So maybe he can win the freaking New Japan Cup next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up we have Juice Robinson. We already talked about both of his matches with Jay and John. Then we have Jeff Cobb. We talked about the Naito match. Then on night 18, he faced off against Toru Yano at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. He beat Yano. Once again, another short, fun, entertaining.
Pretty much just a way to get Cobb some points so he didn't look too embarrassed. He went 4-5 at the end of the tournament, which is right there at the bottom with the other guys that went 4-5, and parody booking once again.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious with Yano kind of getting Cobb stuck in his singlet and trying to roll him up. But yeah, I mean, nothing too much to really write home about this one.
So let's talk about these finals, man.
Hold on, we got
Nope, that's it.
Oh, so yeah, Toriano, we talked about both of his matches.
We talked about
and then Shingo Takagi, we covered both of his matches. So now we're moving on to the finals then. So yeah, night 19, the G1 Climax 29 finals here in Budokan Hall. Of course, all 3 nights were in Budokan Hall. Question from Reddit user Eater of Bread: why was the front row of fans so far from the ring at Budokan? Like at the Tokyo Dome, they don't seem to use that area for much.
You know, I really couldn't give you a strong answer for why that is, but ever since I remember watching wrestling at Budokan Hall or the Tokyo Dome, that just seems to be how they do it. I don't know if it has something to do with the way that they set things up for, like, say, sumo or something of that nature, maybe fire code. I really don't have a good answer, but I just think it's always been that way.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we can try and ask somebody and find out, but, yeah, not sure.
Good question. We got not good answers.
So the card opened up with the LA Young Lions, Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors. They defeated Yota Tsuji and Ren Namita 10 minutes via submission. This match was a freaking banger.
It was awesome.
3.5. These freaking LA dojo guys are awesome. Carl Fredericks is going to be a star. Clark Connors is awesome.
Yo, bump that. Tsuji's going to be a star. My dog Ren Narita is going to be... He might not be a star, but he's going to be there.
So we had a question from Reddit user WRPLA101. It says, obviously most questions about the final night, most questions will be about the final night, about the top of the card, being angle stuff from the show, but wanted to give some attention to the opening tag. What a match that was. A great showcase of intensity and fire. The LA Dojo guys have been seriously impressive on this tour. When do you think we'll see them over in Japan? Do you think they'll be incorporated onto tours more regularly from now on?
I hope so. I really hope so. And you know what? They were starting to use them a bit in ROH, and I don't know if they're going to keep doing that. So it seems to me like there's a good possibility that they might continue to use them, especially since they seem to be pretty high in Carl Fredericks specifically. Mm-hmm. I had that right. Carl Fredericks, the one that they're higher on, right?
Yeah. Dude, I think it's time for another Young Lions Cup.
I love the Young Lions Cup. I love the Young Lions Cup.
Let's do it, man. We got some LA guys. We got some New Japan Dojo guys. Let's run it, man.
Yeah, they need to bring back Kitamura.
And the post-match promos, Tsuji was kind of asking the same question. He's like, you guys have been in LA. He's like, when are you coming to Japan? He's like, I want to run it again. Like, I want to fight you guys again. You guys, if you want to be real Young Lions, you need to come to Japan.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Next question from Reddit user Jar of Peanuts. He says, I'm sure it's been asked before, but how long do Young Lions usually stay on excursion? It feels like Kawato has been gone for a really long time, and I'm not ready for when Narita and Shooter leave.
It's not always the same for everybody, but I think between like a year to 2 years is pretty normal. Like a year and a half is pretty standard. There have been guys who've been gone longer, for sure, and there have been guys who've been gone shorter, depending. And the whole excursion system, even though it's always been there in New Japan, it's kind of been more like shored up, I think, the last couple years, as the company's kind of really changed its tone and how they do things from some of the dark days and the 90s, things like that. But I think most of the guys, for the most part, usually, I think about a year and a half to 2 years is pretty standard. And Kawato is coming up on... Well, he left at Fantastic Mania, not this year, but last year.
Yeah.
So we're about a year and a half. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back like early next year. Because he does have that title right now, and it seems like they're running with him in CMLL as the champion for a little bit. So maybe after Fantastic Mania next year, like after the 2-year mark, might be normal.
Yeah, that would be great. So next up, we had Tiger Mask, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Jeff Cobb defeating Kanemaru, Taichi, and Lance Archer, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Thought this was a fine match. They were teasing some stuff between Jeff Cobb and Lance Archer.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one talking point of this match was a Cobb Archer angle. I don't know if maybe that's something that they're projecting to possibly do. I would say maybe on those Fighting Spirit Unleashed shows.
Yeah, great.
That seems to be where I think that they would probably do that.
2 Gaijin guys, 2 American guys, yeah.
But you know where they need to do this. Archer needs to take that Bump's PWG belt.
Let's do it. The next PWG show should be called Everybody Dies, and Archer should be in the main event.
Hell yeah. Well, I think the next, they've got Bola coming up?
They got Bola coming up, yeah. So Cobb ended up getting the win for his team there. So then we had Toa Hanare and Juice Robinson defeating the Death Riders, Shota Umino.
Oh, you skipped a match.
Oh, yeah, skipped the Bullet Club match. Sho Yo and Will Ospreay defeating the returning Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi at 8 minutes and 4 seconds.
That's fine.
Yeah, fine match. Always great to kind of see those junior, Sho and Yo back, seeing Taiji back.
I think some of it's a little bit of a teaser for the New Japan Cup, or for the Super Juniors Cup that's coming up as well.
Yeah.
Several of the competitors there kind of interacting with one another. And then after that, we got the tag match.
Yeah, Toa and Juice defeating the Death Riders. Another good match here.
How stoked were you to start seeing... well, I think they started it on this night, right? When Shota Umino and Jon Moxley came out with the jackets?
I think it was night 18. Actually, it might have been their tag match on 17? Where Shooter came out with the Death Rider jacket that we saw in those vignette videos to hype up the coming of Moxley. But yeah, it's super dope. I'm loving both of them in the jackets.
Yeah, it's the cutest thing ever.
But yeah, this match was only 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Toa Hanare ended up hitting the Toa bottom on Shooter to get the win. Then post-match, Moxley hits Juice with the belt and puts him through a table with a Uranagi of his own.
I'll tell you one thing about Moxley. He knows how to put a bitch through a freaking through a strong style table. How many guys try to put other people through tables and the tables never break?
Yeah.
Moxley does not have that problem. They always go through.
And before he put Juice through the table, he said he looks like he belongs in a 1990s Jazzercise video.
Oh, that was
so
hilarious.
we're going to toughen him up.
Before we move on, one thing I want to bring up. Toa Hanare has been looking really good on these undercards. I know we've gone through phases with him where sometimes we're like he looks really good, other times we're like looks a little lackadaisical, but lately dude's on fire, man. I know he wasn't in this tournament, but bro, he's in the zone right now, and hopefully they have something in place for him over the next year.
Yeah, I hope so too. And he's a guy I would love to see be in the G1 next year. So we had a question here from a Twitter follower at JazzKeegan13. He says, do you think that the Mox and Shota Death Riders motorcycle gang could be a new faction in the company and they could start recruiting people? Also, is Shota's time with Mox meant to be his excursion rather than actually leaving the company?
Yeah, I think they're taking new members. I think that if you write into them and sign up for their official chain gang membership for the Death Rider gang, you will get an official jacket that will be signed by the Death Rider himself, Jon Moxley. And I don't know. I don't see it being an actual faction, honestly.
Yeah, and also again, we don't know how long Mox is gonna be in New Japan or how often.
Well, he did say something recently that he said luckily. I don't know where it spawned off. I think maybe somebody on Twitter had asked him a question, or maybe it was an interview. I don't have all the facts on this, but I saw him put a statement out there, and he said, luckily, my obligations in North America with AEW don't preclude me from wrestling in Japan. So, he basically was saying, he's not leaving. Now,
right.
He's a worker. He could be lying, but I think he's here, man. He signed the deal before he ever signed up with AEW.
Yeah, so I kind of like it if it was just him and Shooter. I think I kind of like them as a team, and Moxley kind of mentoring him and being this, kind of father figure to him.
I also, to answer the second part of the question, no, I don't think that this gets rid of an excursion. Now, to be clear, there have been guys who have had non-traditional excursion experiences. Tanahashi's one of them. Nakamura is another one, where maybe they delay their excursion to a later date in their career, or some guys, I think Togi Makabe is one of them, they don't really go on one, and maybe they just do short tours in other places, kind of like what Dave Finlay was doing.
Toa Hanare didn't really go on excursion.
Exactly. I don't think that this is his quote-unquote gimmick, though. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
This isn't his excursion. He could. I think he'll probably end up going on an excursion. That's just my gut instinct. But if he doesn't, it's not like this is going to be that thing that he's like. This is not Shota Umino's legacy. They see big things for him.
Right. Next question from William Johnson. He says, "Do you think they should save Mox vs. Juice for Wrestle Kingdom?"
No, I would do that at King of Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I feel they need a fresh matchup for Mox at the Dome. So yeah, I would either King of Pro Wrestling or Destruction Tour.
Yep, I agree.
So next up we had Ryusuke Taguchi, Tomoka Hanuma, Toru Yano, and Hiroki Goto, and Togi Makabe versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, and LIJ defeated Taguchi Japan here, 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, this was fine. Seeing LIJ take on the New Japan Geeks. Actually, it's funny. I was talking to Chris Bryan last night, and we were talking about New Japan. He was like, "I was so excited to see Togi Makabe come back." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure you're like the only one." No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, this is fine. I mean, it's the LIJ match. It's always fantastic.
Yeah,
it's always solid. We always like it.
We had a question here from Reddit user that was 5 stars. He says, "Hey guys, remember Hiromu?"
We'll never forget.
Yes, so we are patiently waiting for Hiromu.
There was an update on Observer Live or Observer Radio recently, and they said that the news is that he should be returning fairly shortly.
I feel like Dave has been saying that for a while now.
Well, are you calling Dave a liar?
I'm not.
Whoa, Jeremy, are you saying that Dave Meltzer's wrong about things?
Whoa. I'm just saying. There's been several times this year where it's like, yeah, I've been hearing that Hiromu is like doing really well and he'll be back soon, and like it's like the date keeps getting pushed back. So, not saying Dave was wrong this time.
That's what you're saying.
I respect Meltzer. I listen.
Bro, just man up and call Dave a freaking liar on the air.
No, I'm not a Meltzer hater. But yeah,
it's okay, bro. I won't judge you for it.
Here's the thing: our
listeners might.
I'm just not giving up hope for Hiromu. I'm tired of predicting Hiromu come back. Getting my hopes, my anticipation up.
Well, we haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
But that was 5 stars wants to know, and Dave said one thing, you said another. I'm gonna stick with Dave Meltzer. He knows more than you. Wow. You're wrong.
That was 5 stars. Also says, does Shingo start going for the never openweight title now that he's declared himself a heavyweight? We can use some new blood in the Goto Ishii Taichi mix.
Well, maybe, but it looks like we got another title challenger to kind of worry about first, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I would like to see him in that mix. Here's the thing, man. I could see Shingo in like the IC title mix at this point. Like he's that good.
Oh,
he's that good. He's right there.
I think Shingo's ceiling is a Tokyo Dome main eventer.
I agree.
So yeah,
and I think other people see that too.
Yeah. So then next up, we had the Bullet Club defeating Kenta Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii. The Bullet Club team was made up of G.O.D. and Bad Luck Fale. G.O.D. returning to New Japan from their little...
From that ass whooping.
In the Ring of Honor.
That ass whooping they took. How about this? We'll talk about this match in a second, but we watched that. We didn't watch the whole card, but the other night we did watch the last tail or the last half of that ladder match from the Summer Supercard between G.O.D. and the Briscoes. The stupidest finish I've ever seen in my entire life. Freaking Tama Tonga's on the top of the ladder. Jay Briscoe's on the top of the ladder, and to get Tama Tonga off the ladder, he headbutts him like 5 times, and Tama sells it and falls off the ladder. Dude, there's no way that this man headbutted a Samoan 5 times and was totally fine.
You mean a Tongan?
Oh, my bad. A Tongan. There's no way. That's like literally a classic trope of professional wrestling. Not only that, we've seen it play out a million times in New Japan. What, suddenly they're in Ring of Honor and the Briscoes have harder heads than the Tongans? Come on, that's bullcrap.
Yeah,
that's terrible booking. But that was a bloodbath of a match.
Yeah, dude.
That match was
from what we
bloody.
saw. It was bloody, great innovative spots. Those guys really killed each other.
I really liked that match. I also liked the street fight they had earlier in the month. I wouldn't call them like excursion match of the year contenders necessarily, but to see God get to work in an environment and a match style that they'll never get to do probably in New Japan was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So back to this match here. We were looking over the card for this final nights the day before, and we saw Kenta teaming up with Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii, and we thought that was really weird.
Yeah, we were like, this is super weird. Is he joining, like, Chaos? And then, like, we kind of said maybe, and I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, he's not cool with those guys. Like, this doesn't make sense.
But
and also, the match looked kind of crappy on paper. I was like, we're getting Fale and God against Kenta, Yoshihashi, and Ishii. Like, okay, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, but what was happening was a setup for one of the best angles in pro wrestling this year.
Yeah, if we had like a quote-unquote angle of the year award, this would win. Like, this is the best angle in New Japan since Cody turned on Kenny.
Yeah. Ishii was getting ready to make a tag to Kenta. Kenta jumps down. Ishii gets overwhelmed, and he gets hit. I believe he got hit with the gun stun. Kenta came back in, hit the psycho knee, and to go to sleep on Ishii. Ishii taking the go to sleep very well.
Ishii's the only man who took the go to sleep the right way. Perfect. That's what, bro. I wasn't sure if Ishii was going to be my MVP of the tournament, but once I saw him take the GTS the right way, I was like, okay, that's it. That clinched it. He's the MVP. We'll get to that in a minute, but yeah. Absolutely.
So then Tama Tonga covers him after that. Bullet Club gets the win. They're all, too sweeting each other. Kenta gets Michael.
Yoshihashi tried to get comeuppance on them, and he got beat like a freaking government mule.
Like the geek he
like
is.
A geek.
Yeah, Kenta is getting ready to cut a promo, and then out of freaking nowhere, Katsuyori Shibata beelines to the ring, looking in freaking amazing shape, and comes out there and starts whooping on Kenta, whooping on the Tongans, one-man wrecking crew.
Bro, he beat that ass.
Yes.
He beat that ass, bro.
Bro, he hit the most beautiful corner drop kick, bro.
Bro, everything he hit was actually, like, the most beautiful. Like, the best, like, freaking running corner, like, big boot. The best freaking corner drop kick, like everything he hit was vintage, Shibata, and it was my jaw. Okay, here's the thing: I was spoiled on this, but not on the fact that Shibata. I got spoiled on the fact that Kenta came back, and I saw them sitting on Shibata, and I was like, oh no, and so I was spoiled before we watched this. But then when I saw Shibata come out, bro, he took his shirt off. He's a man, bro. He's in great
He's been killing it at the LA dojo, man.
Bro.
But yeah, dude, he looked freaking amazing. Took out Kenta and the Bullet Club.
And Fale.
Yeah, he was
and the Geeks.
Yeah, then he was going for he did a sleeper. He was going for the PK on Kenta. But then Jado whacked him with the kendo stick. But Shibata didn't even sell it. He just got hit and turned around and was like, oh, you want the smoke too, Jado?
Yeah, he was pissed.
You can come get some of this too.
You can get these hands.
Yeah, but then Kenta took advantage of the distraction from Jado, and Kenta chokes out Shibata, hits the PK, and then he sits on Shibata's chest, cross-legged. Bullet Club is there surrounding him. He's throwing up the too sweet. They're all too sweeting out together.
Bro, shocking. This is shocking. This was shocking, bro. This was an incredible angle.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of people. Well, actually, before I even get into that, we have a ton of questions.
We have so many questions, and we're gonna give you guys time, but we have to get through them.
Yeah. So first from Reddit user Asayo Jimbo, he just says, "Is Shibata back?" in all caps.
Did he ever leave?
Oh.
I think what he means is he going to wrestle again? And I would say, bro, watching this made me feel like maybe, but I pray to God he doesn't.
Doctors recommend that he shouldn't come back a lot. Meltzer was saying on Observer Radio that, the plans are not for him to wrestle. But, dude.
Here's my take on it. Okay. Real simple. I was one of the few people in the beginning who was like, I hope he comes back. I hope he recovers and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until the day that I went on YouTube and I Googled subdural hematoma. operation. It was only on for like 15 seconds, and I like literally like I was sick to my stomach, and I was like, oh, and like there were people who literally commented, "This is what they did to Shibata." Like this, if you've never seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't want to describe it. I don't think that someone who has that kind of operation can wrestle. I literally don't think they can. I think the indication was that they didn't hit him in the head, that he didn't take a bump or anything like that. Like, maybe he could come back. Maybe he could. Maybe I'm not a medical doctor, but
right.
Bro, people who've had this kind of like operation and stuff, one bad bump, he could die.
Yeah,
he could die in the ring. Like, so I hope. I kind of, as much as I love Shibata, I kind of hope he doesn't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people saying, what if Goto went to the LA dojo to get Shibata ready, not Shibata to get Goto ready?
Oh my god! And they call me the conspiracy theorist.
What if this injury has been a work?
It's not. This injury was.
I know.
This injury.
I know.
Oh my god! It's like the Roman Reigns truthers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Next question from Michael Grimes. He says, "Curious on
what up, Mike?"
He says, "Curious of your thoughts on Kenta joining the Bullet Club."
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's great. Kenta, he's been getting heat, whether it's been set up that way or not. The fans don't like him. Think he's nowhere trash. What better way?
Do they though? Are you sure about that?
Yes.
I think it's the New Japan bots that set this whole thing up.
Whether you think it's bots or not, he's getting booed and the fans hate him, and so joining Bullet Club is perfect.
Do you think that this was the plan all along, or do you think they just leaned into it?
I think that was one of our questions too. But I don't know, because I don't know if they were gonna realize what kind of reaction he was gonna get or not.
They might have just called the audible and been like, "All right, you're joining the Bullet Club."
Right.
Bro, I mean, the other night we were hanging out with Dan Coffin. Dan is a very avid listener of this show. He also watches New Japan, but he is admittedly a newer fan of the product. And he asked us the other day, he was like, I haven't been watching for a long time, but I always heard about how cool this Bullet Club was. What's going on?
Right.
He's like, these guys do not seem cool to me. He's like, it looks like a bunch of geeks to me. And like, I'm like, God. Like,
well, you missed the wave.
Yeah, you missed it. Although I like the new Bullet Club, but I'm probably in the minority.
I mean, I like the majority of Bullet Club.
Yeah, but we're New Japan marks. Like,
yeah.
That's the deal. Like, the average fan does not like these guys.
Right.
I think Kenta really brings something to the table. It is funny because Tama had tweeted out a few days prior to this, or like the day before, he's like, we just signed an incredible athlete.
A high caliber
athlete. I have goosebumps. And I was like, who the heck did they sign? Apparently it's this man, Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami? He's dead.
It is Kenta.
It's Kenta.
We had a question. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Reddit user JQNCG says, how far you think Kenta will go with Bullet Club?
All the way? I guess he's saying it what his booking level will be?
I guess so, yeah. Or maybe how long he will be with Bullet Club, maybe? I don't know.
He's in with them, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is not he's in. He's in, and he turned his back. Oh, speaking of which, Zach Porter, so good friend of ours, listener of the show, Zach Porter, he's got this shirt that he bought online, and it says Best Friends, and it's a picture of Shibata and Kenta's face side by side. And he messaged me after he knew we watched the G1. He's like, all right, well, I guess I can't wear this shirt anymore. He's like, New Japan, he's like, Gato literally just ruined my entire weekend. Yeah. Which is funny.
But yeah, I think Bullet Club will be great for Kenta. It's a new dynamic to his character. And I think he's going to be one of the top guys in that faction going forward. Next question from Ricky says, do we see Shibata wrestle again? We kind of answered that.
Even hearing that question makes me go,
I mean, could they put him in a tag match? And
do you know what it reminded me of? Was that first time, though, when Daniel Bryan started doing the running drop kicks in the corner on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God, he's every bit as good as he ever was.
Yes.
That's how Shibata looked, bro. Shibata looked every bit as good as he ever was. Ugh.
I mean, could they stick him in a tag match? And
it might be something where he can only, it might be like Bret Hart,
Right, he can only deliver moves.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they should do that.
Could he have a squash match?
I'd be much more inclined for him to be involved on some physical level as maybe like a mentor or like a second or a manager, and something of that nature. If he's cleared and he's healthy, I'd be all for it. I just can't imagine it.
Right. And kind of plugging into the next question from Twitter follower at D7Dog. Says Kenta versus Shibata for Wrestle Kingdom ? And how good are the LA Dojo guys?
They're great. I don't know if that's the move. It would seem to me, though, that there's a possibility that that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it could be.
But, bro, there's no way that you can do that match and it not be, super freaking, like, it's Kenta. It's Shibata. That would be extremely, extremely violent. That's a big ask.
Yeah. Next question from Reddit user, why did you do that, bro? If Shibata isn't returning to the ring, then where do you think this storyline with Kenta is heading? A match with Goto?
To start, yeah, I think at least.
Yeah, that might be the direction. Maybe you have Kenta versus some of the LA Dojo Young Lions too on the path to Wrestle Kingdom.
We're going to talk about it, but he has a matchup coming with another Chaos member as well.
Yeah.
And there's still that heat between him and Tanahashi. And Tanahashi is no stranger to having issues with Bullet Club.
Right. Okada might, kind of feel foolish for shaking Kenta's hand and might want to get some...
Man, this man Okada stays getting played by Bullet Club.
Oh, man. Next question from Reddit user Bravo Tango Zulu. Do you think Kenta joining the BC was always a plan or a response to some of the negative reactions Kenta has been having throughout the G1?
I would love to say that they booked this in advance, and it's very plausible they did, but I couldn't say with any certainty.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I kind of feel like it was on the fly, but then they had the whole Shibata angle, so I'm not 100% sure. Next question from Reddit user Maserati, our boy Maserati. Does fitting Kenta into Bullet Club make the most sense considering how hated he is by everyone? Is he more of a whole ho or Noah Trash?
Oh my God. Well, I don't think he's a whole ho or Noah Trash, but okay. Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think it's one of those brilliant ideas that I never saw coming, which is one of the great things about this is pro wrestling, man. This is some of the best of pro wrestling. I think it makes a lot of sense. We tried, bro, remember when he came in, we were like, where would you put him? You know what I mean?
Right. And and everybody was like, oh, he's going to start, the LA Dojo faction.
That was like one idea, but like when we were trying to talk, we're like, well, LIJ doesn't fit. I guess Suzuki-gun, but he's not needed there. Bullet Club, even though Bullet Club's a little overbloated, man, he fits in like a glove, especially with this persona, especially with the heat.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then the last question on this angle here comes from BJ Baker. Who do you think is the bigger heel right now? Kenta for laying out Shibata or Switchblade for killing the dreams of Naito fans?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Actually, you know what? I actually didn't think of this exact question, but I did think of something along those lines the other day, and I was thinking about that. I'm glad he mentioned that because I wasn't going to remember to say it on the show. I have no clue, bro. Like...
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one.
That's... Bro, BJ Baker, hats off to you, man. That's a stumper, bro. That might be equal.
Yeah.
That might be equal.
Equal heat.
Yeah, man. And look at that. Already, right now, the top two guys in Bullet Club. Suddenly, they go from this team that we're like, are they even the top heel faction, to suddenly super duper heat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
On both sides, yeah.
Gato's brilliant.
So then we move on to the semi-main event of the evening. We have the former Rev Pro Tag Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. Obviously, Suzuki getting the big win here over Okada. This whole tour, he's been destroying Okada in undercard tag matches that they were featured in. And then here he hits the Gotch pile driver on Okada and gets the win.
Yeah, so this match was awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Two great teams. We know Sabre and Suzuki are a great team, and then we've been seeing the Mega Aces from the last year teaming together. And so, yeah, this is a really great tag match here.
Really, really, really good tag match. Here's the thing about the Mega Aces. They're not a good tag team. They always lose.
Yeah.
Anytime they tag together, it's to get other guys over. Like, they lose.
Yeah. And so obviously the whole purpose of this match was, we're going to talk about Royal Quest later, but this was to set up two Royal Quest matches. We've been seeing Tanahashi and Sabre kind of going back and forth. Tanahashi taunting that he's beaten Sabre like 3 times in a row, their last few singles matches, and wanting a title match. And then, Suzuki, he's been angry that he wasn't in the G1, said he had a master plan this whole time. He'd been targeting Okada throughout the undercards, pins Okada here, post-match gets
pinned him clean.
Clean, yes.
With the Gotch-style pile driver, which was awesome. And then it made you think, should Suzuki really have been left out of the G1?
Yeah, and bro, not only did he do the Gotch, before the Gotch, he did a La Mystica into the sleeper to get to the Gotch.
He's the best, man.
He's the king.
He's the king. He's the king.
But yeah, post-match he grabs a mic, says, how bad do you feel, Okada, that you lost to someone who wasn't even the G1?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on, you mentioned that Tanahashi beat Zack in the last 3 matches in a row. I don't think that's true. Because remember, Zack beat him in MSG.
Oh, sorry, he beat him at MSG, but then
they've had 3 matches, and
but didn't Tanahashi beat him in the New Japan Cup?
He beat him in the Cup, and then he beat him recently. No, I think the last match they had, he lost to him at MSG.
Gotcha. Well, he beat him in the G1.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, he beat him in the G1.
Wasn't there wasn't one before that?
There was one before that, but I don't remember when.
Well, so at least twice in a row, he's beat him, I think.
No. He lost that Rev Pro title match in April.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I've heard other people say he beat him 3 times in a row too, and I'm thinking, when did that happen? Zack, I saw this man get tapped out by Zack.
I know, because Tanahashi was doing this 1, 2, 3, 3 times to him too.
Maybe it's just that he's beaten him 3 times.
Maybe in undercard stuff too. Maybe
I think that's the other thing they might have been considering was undercards. That's the only thing. That's one thought that came to my mind because I'm like, what are they talking about? But anyways. But this match was awesome, and Suzuki ruled, Zack ruled, everyone ruled here. It was really great.
Yeah,
great way to set up future matches between all 4 guys. We had some questions.
Yes. So first question comes from Reddit user Jai Bryan. He says, "Seeing as how since 2012 the G1 winner has never came from the same block as the champion, do you see Okada dropping the title this fall? In 2014, Okada did win while being in the same block as then champion AJ Styles, but Styles dropped the belt to Tanahashi that fall, who's in a separate block from him and Okada."
That is possible. But again, Okada's the ace of the company, the top guy, and it's very clear right now he's the top guy. I don't see anyone. I mean, they made it very clear in this G1 how dominant he is as the champion. So the only way I could see that happening is if there's a bigger money match on the table
for Ibushi.
Okay.
Kenny?
I thought about that today. I was driving to work and I thought about that. I was like, okay, well, what if? Because who did Okada lose to in this tournament?
Sonata.
Okay,
and Ibushi.
Okay, right. And then he lost this match just here in this tag match to Suzuki. We know Suzuki's getting a future title match. We'll talk about it. It's at Royal Quest. Obviously, you guys know. You could do Sonata again. He has to have a King of Pro Wrestling person. It's most likely Sonata, but I'm like, geez, again, because they've had 3 matches this year. I did have the thought. That what if Kenny Omega comes back and wins the IWGP title?
And Kenny versus Ibushi?
That would, I mean, it's such a long shot, but what if that's the plan?
He was in Japan.
And what if the whole idea is that because they already gave us the Okada Ibushi match. What if they're? I mean, it's such a long shot, and there's probably people who are cringing at this because we know some of y'all some Kenny haters out there, but bro, they've always wanted that match would freaking draw.
Sign me up, bro.
Because then you Kenny's the one guy who could believably probably defeat Okada. He's already done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And people would probably be somewhat upset, but at the same time, you're establishing the Kenny Ibushi match for Wrestle Kingdom, the match that's been super protected. We haven't seen it in a year, and even before that, it was super protected. And then, Kenny comes in and does the job for Ibushi? I mean,
Dude, the story writes itself.
It writes itself, and that kind of would make sense in my mind. They're probably not doing this. They probably are not doing this.
Right.
But in case they do, you
heard
it
it
here
first.
first.
Next question from the Gargoyle Queen on Twitter.
Before that, I just want to ask you, is there anyone else that you could realistically see Okada actually dropping the belt to between now and then?
Honestly, I don't. That's why I had a hard time thinking that he would lose a belt. I can't think of anybody that would beat him.
The only scenario, and I don't think they'll do it, but the only scenario is what if they want to work Naito into the main event somehow, or something like that? Maybe Jon Moxley. That's another guy that maybe you could do, but that's about it.
So, a question from the Gargoyle Queen says, "Do you think Okada's red, white, and black shorts are his heel shorts? He wore them against Sonata and Ibushi, and he was quite mean during these matches."
No, because he wore them during other matches, and he wasn't working as a heel. In fact, I see them as being his white shorts and being they're lighter. They look more like face shorts. They don't look as cocky and all that as his purple, red, and gold and all that. That's my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, honestly, I really hadn't been paying attention to.
He wore them against a lot of guys that he worked face against.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. I see what you're saying, but no.
Yeah. All right, so now it is time to talk about the G1 29 Finals match. The B block winner, Switchblade Jay White, taking on the A block winner, the Golden Star Kota Ibushi. And
fantastic,
bro, this
fantastic
match was excellent. From the opening bell, having Jay White storm out to the ring with all of Bullet Club, including Kenta, and Red Shoes throwing all of them out, Red Shoes throwing Gato out, and just this whole dynamic. Jay White is so hated. He's such a great heel. That whole 12,000 Budokan Hall crowd was living and dying with every Kota Ibushi attack.
Oh man, this was it's so funny because when Kota Ibushi won, that made me kind of nervous about the projections for what was possible on the final night, because going into the final B block night, Goto was still alive, Moxley was still alive, Jay White was still alive, and so was Naito. And it started to feel like maybe Jay White would be the guy. Once Jay White did win, we already talked about the Naito stuff, so I won't get on that, but I was dejected. I did not really want to see this match. There's nothing about it. I was like, Ibushi versus White? Come on, dog.
Well, I was like, man, Jay's going to win, because why would they do Ibushi Okada and then do it again at the Dome?
Bro, I was scared about that too.
I was like, Jay's winning the G1.
I was scared. And you know what's funny is even though we didn't really give Jay White a great chance to win this tournament, I think last year we were I could see it. Last year, almost all throughout the whole calendar last year, we were next year might be Jay's year.
Yeah.
We're Jay or Naito, one of those two guys. But we kept saying Jay's probably going to be in the finals. But bro, they came out here and they put on what, I don't know. I might not be in the. There's probably people who disagree with me here, but I think that this was Kota Ibushi's best match this year, and I think that this is the best match Jay White's career ever. Yeah. And I gave this match the full 5 stars, which I very rarely do. This was my match of the tournament. This match was a masterclass. I'm so surprised at how good the match was. I loved it. I love this match.
Yeah, this was the one match. I mean, other matches had me kind of jumping up and down too, but this match, I was on pins and needles.
Bro, we both were.
I was not spoiled. I had no idea who was going to win.
Same.
I had to wait all day at work. That's all I was thinking about was the freaking G1 finals. As soon as I came home, fired that thing up. But yeah, dude, I was on the edge of the couch, jumping up and down. Every near fall I bit. I was so invested in this match.
Bro, the investment from us was basically this. We didn't want dusty-ass Jay White to win the fucking G1. Come on, man. No, I don't want Jay White to win the G1. And this guy was such a dick. He was a heel. He cheated his entire way. They sacrificed Naito in the final night. I was getting... You guys think I was mad about that Mox stuff? That's nothing. bro, this they freaking killed Naito. Are you kidding me? I was like, for Jay White? Come on, dog. And then I was like, all right, well, at that point, I was never like, Ibushi has to win. But once it was Jay White, I was like,
please, Ibushi.
Bro, Ibushi wins or we riot. Like, I was going to freaking lose my mind. And bro, they played us.
Yeah, they did.
They played us like a fiddle. This whole, Gato is the puppet master.
Freaking G1.
He's the puppet master.
He strung us all along.
Bro, we never saw this coming. Like, no, bro, we are usually pretty accurate predictors on this show to some extent. We did not see this coming. And I didn't hear anyone predict this crap. All you who played our pick'em game, no one picked this.
Actually, there were quite a few people that had Jay White Ibushi.
Dang it.
In their finals.
All right, forget that.
But it wasn't the most, but there were a lot more than I expected.
Well, y'all smarter than me because I picked Tanahashi and Naito. But man, what? Let's talk about the match. How great was this freaking match?
Bro, this match was incredible. I also went the full 5 on it. Dude, just from beginning to end, great story. Stacking the deck against Ibushi, you know, they had the post-match attack the previous night after Jay had won the B block on Ibushi's ankle.
And before that, Jay had gotten in the ring and he was talking to Ibushi, cutting an angle, and he was like, tomorrow night, you and me, mano a mano, no Gato, no nobody, just you and me. And when he said that, I kind of didn't like it because I was like, that's some Kenny Omega bull crap. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, this is Jay White. Why would he do that? But then they attacked him, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. I get it. And yeah, that vicious attack on Ibushi's ankle the night before, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and you know, of course, Jay not keeping to his word, like I mentioned earlier. Whole Bullet Club out there with Jay, but Red Shoes wasn't going to have any of that. Immediately sent Bullet Club to the back, and Gato promised he would stay. If he stayed in the blue corner, that he should be able to stay. So Red Shoes was like, yeah, you got to stand right there. And he was like hugging onto the blue corner post. Like,
that was hilarious.
Bro, Gato was freaking cracking me up.
Gato was hilarious in this match.
He's like, I stay right here.
Yeah, he did. But bro, the limb work from Jay White, like, okay, bro. We have, calling you out, Rich, we got friends which anytime someone works a limb, they're like, oh my god,
body part
it's
match.
A body part match. But you know me, I'm a 1980s wrestling fan, and I've seen some of the best like body part matches ever, and I know when it's done right, it's done right. And I was like, this is it being done right. This was Jay White working the crap out of Ibushi's ankle, and not only that, like. Oh, go ahead.
I was like, you mentioned in the Ospreay,
Tanahashi.
That, you know, Ospreay wasn't doing a full-on job of selling the leg. Well, this match was the perfect example, I think, of how you sell the leg. Like, and it was like moves that don't even target the leg really were affecting his leg. Like, Jay did a snap suplex.
Yep.
And Ibushi would grab his ankle.
Yep.
And Kevin Kelly on commentary, great. Oh, you know, the way he landed on that suplex hurt his ankle.
Yep.
And there'd be moves like the suplex into the corner. He's like, you know, normally we'd be worried about the head and neck, but his ankle hit the head against the post.
It's all of it, but you're absolutely right. He was selling the leg off that stuff, which is just so beautiful. The other thing, too, is like Jay did a fantastic job throughout this tournament to slowly start to bring back the leg work and start to reintroduce the TTO, that fear of the TTO. And he didn't like win too many matches with it, but as the tournament was progressing, you saw him start to really focus and target guys. And on the flip side of that, Ibushi had to deal with this ankle injury the whole tournament through, which makes me kind of wonder how serious we never did see whether that ankle that was swollen was really his or not.
Right. I ain't seen no pics since that
I ain't seen
first
no
pic.
pictures since that first night. But anyways, regardless, after he viciously attacked Ibushi's ankle the night before, once he immediately targeted it, as soon as the match started, every little thing he did was, bro. There was one point where he had him on the guardrail and he's just pulling back on the ankle. Bro, we see that spot a million times. It doesn't mean like crap to me. Bro, I was living and dying. I was like, oh no. Bro, like he was killing Ibushi's ankle. And bro, for anyone who doesn't like Jay White, like, watch this match because this is a guy who makes little things. We said it last week. He's a guy who's so good at the little things. Bro, him and Ibushi went out there and had a freaking banger. And then Ibushi having to overcome those odds and obstacles. and turn into Murder Coda.
Yeah.
And start, bro, he was slapping the crap out of Jay White.
And, you know, the beginning of the match, Gato did get busted grabbing Ibushi's ankle. So Red Shoes tossed Gato out there. So for a little bit, it was kind of one-on-one, Ibushi and Jay White.
Remember when he said to Red Shoes, he's like, "You've done quite enough."
Right, yeah, when he was, because Red Shoes was trying to stop him from doing the ankle thing on the guardrail.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "You've done enough." Oh, man. But then eventually Ibushi's going for the lawn dart, but then the ref gets bumped, and then Jay hits a low blow, and then out comes Gato.
Jeez.
With that, you know, that crap-eating grin on his face.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah.
Bro, it was hilarious. It's the smile he had.
Yep.
And it's the way he was walking down the ring. And, of course, getting involved again. And
I think he tried to punch him with the brass knuckles.
He brought a chair in.
At first?
Yeah. And then White chop blocked Ibushi. And then he Pillmanized the leg. And then White followed with a dragon screw, and then he had him in the TTO, and then Gato rolled the ref back in to try to get the submission, and then Gato hid after that for a while, so the Red Shoes wouldn't see him.
Because I remember a point where he came in with the brass knuckles and got head kicked by Ibushi. Did I imagine that, or that happened, right?
So yeah, that came later on. So after Ibushi escapes,
it did happen though.
Yeah, so he's eventually went for a Bumaye. Jay collapsed to avoid it.
We need to talk about that. So him collapsing, bro, so he's done this before, but in this match, it meant more because that's the Kenny Omega famous spot from the Okada matches where, like, the exhaustion hits him and Okada can't hit him with the Rainmaker because he falls down from exhaustion. Jay did that, but then Jay looks over and he's grinning, and Ibushi's trying to lift him up, and he's just, you know, sandbagging on him and going dead weight and just laughing, and I'm like, this mother effer, this freaking heel. And bro, the heat in that place, every single man, woman, and child in that entire arena, they had nothing but hatred.
Right.
For
There
Jay
was
White.
not one fan who wanted Jay White to win this match.
And we're so used to these epic G1 finales with favorites, you know, guys on this side, like a soccer match.
Dueling chants.
Nope, not this night. This was classic good guy versus bad guy, Rudo versus Technico, heel versus babyface. This was awesome.
Yeah. So it was after that spot where Gato tried to come in and attack Ibushi. But then, so Gato he takes Ibushi. Ibushi takes out Gato, but that distraction allowed White to hit a sleeper suplex. But then Ibushi popped up and hit him with a Bomaye. And that's when Red Shoes called Romero to take Gato out.
Yep.
And then do the closing stretch.
Well, even before that, one thing I want to touch on, there were moments where Kota Ibushi, even though his ankle was hurt, he had to, like, outsmart Jay White, which is very hard to do. And Jay would come in with these slick maneuvers. There's one moment specifically where I remember he tried to chop block Kota Ibushi, and Ibushi jumped up and did the double stomp on the small of his back, and then he sold his own leg off of it. And I was like, this is... Bro, oh my God.
And like you mentioned, there was even moves where, like, he did like a one-legged moonsault at one point.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and there's other ways he was trying to show that he was selling the leg while doing some of his moves. Also, great counters. You know, at one point, Jay was going for the Kiwi Crusher, and Ibushi reversed it into the Bastard Driver.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he hit that, I was so happy because up to that point, he'd been taking most of the offense, and I was like, God, like, come on, Ibushi. Like, bro, I was living and breathing. I was dying with Ibushi. Like, I wanted this guy to win so bad.
And then doing a one-legged Pele to reverse the sleeper suplex.
I loved that.
He did the deadlift German for a near fall. That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Then just the closing stretch of the match, that counter sequence when they're just like countering all their moves, like countering the Blade Runner, countering the Kamigoye. So then it came down. White countered the Kamigoye into the Blade Runner, and then he pulled Ibushi up, looking he was gonna go for another one. Dude, when he hit that Blade Runner.
Bro, when he hit the Blade Runner out, bro, we were both so scared. I was like, oh.
I was like, that's it.
I was like, oh, no.
But then he took a while to cover.
I thought he was going to kick out. I thought he was gonna be the first guy to kick out, but he didn't get a chance to cover him.
Yeah, so then he pulls him up after that Blade Runner, and it looks like he's going for another one. But then Ibushi headbutts him, does a straight jacket German. Then White counters into 2 sleeper suplexes, and then that the cross-armed,
so scary,
Bloody Sunday. But then Ibushi counters the Blade Runner into a Kamigoye, 2 V triggers, and then a Kamigoye. But then Jay White kicked out.
Yep, that was scary.
Bro, I was like, Jay's gonna win. And then one more Kamigoye, bam.
Bro, I was running around the house, bro.
Yes.
I was running around the house, bro. You know, you can talk about the technical side of a match and the moves and the spots and all that. But if you can get me off the couch, if you can get me invested, if you can get me to react emotionally, and it's not so hard when it's a G1 final. Obviously, the big stage plays a big role into it, but like that plus like as much as we like Jay White, as much as we praise him, I did not want to see him and Okada at the Tokyo Dome. Get the hell out of here. Heck no. At that point, I needed Ibushi to win. Like, I needed this, and he delivered, and bro, this freaking ruled.
Yeah, this was great. Love this match. We have some questions here. First from Reddit user Jai Bryan. The G1 runner-up is always in a title match at Wrestle Kingdom. Who do you see Jay White facing, and for what title? If you look at previous booking, it will be someone he didn't face in the G1.
I know, and that's one of the things that, like, I don't know, because they did do a great job reestablishing Jay in this tournament. Bro, I've got no clue.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not gonna be Moxley. It's not gonna be Naito. It's not gonna be Juice.
Unless, again, they've been throwing the booking out the window with the pattern, so maybe Jay's not gonna face a title holder.
I don't know. Who could it be?
Obviously they're going to do the Naito match at some point, but
could it be for that? Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, they could do Naito and him.
Yeah,
they could. I don't know, man. I mean, he definitely stole Naito's dream.
Yeah.
So there's a story there. I don't know. Gun to my head, that's what I would say it is.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Next question from our boy Joel, who actually just welcomed a baby girl into this world. Beautiful, man. Baby girl. Congrats, bro. He says, do you think the Wrestle Kingdom title match will be what we think it is as of today?
For right now, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think Okada Ibushi is the match.
Yep, I think that's going to draw. I think that's what they're doing.
And like we mentioned, I think there's a better match in them. So
unless, I don't know, Jericho shows up and does something crazy. I don't know, man. Like, who knows? But yeah, I think so.
Howard Schilling pretty much asked the same question. Do we think the Wrestle Kingdom main event will hold true? If not, does Okada lose a belt or does Ibushi lose a shot?
Ibushi should not lose the shot. That would be a terrible decision.
Right. And considering he's defending the shot against Evil and Kenta, I don't see him losing to either of those guys on the way to the Dome.
It's more likely Okada loses, and I really don't see that either. I think that's the match they're doing.
Yeah. Next question from Reddit user Tiny Sausage Factory.
Yes.
Is Jay White the best heel in the world right now?
Yeah, he might be. Can you think of anyone that you think is a better heel?
Right now, no. I mean, when healthy, you could have argued Tommaso Ciampa.
There was a point where Cody was, but he's not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure as hell isn't Matt Taven. I'll tell you that much.
Man's killing the town.
That's for sure.
Killing the promotion.
I mean, who's in WWE that's a good heel? I mean, Brock Lesnar. Is he the top heel?
I guess
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's a pretty good heel, but
Jay White's the best heel in pro wrestling right now.
Yeah. And the last question from this section comes from, again, Ricky. He says, did the right person win the G1? I'm going to say yes. Based on the stories that they were set up throughout the
That's
tournament.
pretty much what I'm going to say, yeah.
And, hey, Ibushi's a guy that I'm sure they've been wanting to push for a long time, but he wouldn't sign the contract. He signed the contract. You know, he doesn't have a healthy neck. You know, he has neck issues. He's not that young. Like, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
So here's what I'll say. I still think that I would have loved to have seen Naito win it based on the stories. But based on the booking, what Gato laid out, this was, in my opinion, the best booked G1 that I've ever seen. There were things that I'm questionable on. There's no such thing as a perfect tournament. But for the ride that he took us on, the intrigue, the drama, the great work, the matches they gave us, given all that context, in this scenario, yeah, Ibushi's the guy that should have won. I would have to say yes.
All right, so now before we do our grading and giving our top 10 matches, we've got to announce the contest winner. So the winner of the Keeping It Strong Style G1 29 prediction contest is Reddit user, why did you do that, bro?
Bro, why did you do that? Why did you upset all these people for the freaking Neo Geo and the...
You get the Neo Geo Mini, you get a Keeping It Strong Style t-shirt, so why did you do that, bro? Hit me up in the Reddit DMs. We'll get I'll get your contact info, get your prizes to you.
You gotta pay for shipping, though.
On the shirt. We'll cover the shipping on the Neo Geo.
And he gets a guest spot.
That's right, yeah.
You get a guest spot. You get a guest
Any
spot.
episode you want. So, yeah, let me know which episode you want to guest on, and we'll get that all set up.
I think it should be Road to Destruction Tour.
Road to Tokyo Dome.
World Tag Leagues nights 7 through 11.
Oh, my gosh. All right,
God.
so now...
Wait. How far was I? I think I did really well, right?
You did pretty good, but having Naito and Tanahashi killed you like it killed me. I mean, we both ended like in that upper 50 point range. Why did you do that, bro? Almost at 70 points.
Oh God! Holy crap, bro! Why did you do that, bro? Gato? That's what we're gonna find out. Like Gato literally has been listening to the show, and he's gonna come on and he's gonna be like, "For real?
Why did you do that, bro?"
Oh my God!
So yeah, man, congrats to you. So now we're gonna do the grading, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So we had a question from our buddy Dan Coffin. He said, "Can you please rank all the G1 competitors like stocks, buy, sell, or hold, based on their previous staying before the tournament in comparison to where you see them now, based on their G1 performances?" I'm buying all the Shingo and Ospreay stock.
Well, Dan, I love this.
So we're definitely doing this. And so instead of the traditional grading system, which we were originally going to do, we're going to do Dan's stock method here. And we're going to talk buy, sell, or hold. So we'll start with the A block. We'll start from the top, work our way down to the bottom. So the tournament winner and A block winner, Kota Ibushi.
Buy.
Yep, buy and stock on that. The current IWGP champion, also with 7-2, Kazuchika Okada.
I would say buy.
Yep, buy as well. King of Darkness, Evil.
I would say hold.
Yeah, I would say hold as well.
If we're basing it on stock, based on the idea of like, actually... I might sell on Evil.
Really?
Well, I mean, the whole idea with stock is you buy... Oh, I don't like this, actually, now that I think about it, because you buy when it's at its lowest and you think that it's going up. You sell when you think that you're not going to get any more returns on it.
Right.
If it was me right now, I would sell on Evil. I don't know if I like it. Buy, sell, and hold. I don't know if I like this. Now I'm thinking about it because now I'm thinking about their trajectories in a different light. Damn you, Dan.
So do you want to continue with the stock or you want to go back to the grades?
We're fine. Okay, let's just say hold. We'll
Okay.
hold.
Will Ospreay.
Bye.
Bye. Kenta. I think I would buy.
I would buy.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I would sell.
I think I would hold.
God, actually, I hate this segment. I hate this.
All right, do you want to scrap it and go with the grades?
Yeah, because now I'm thinking about it logically. I'm like, this doesn't make sense because you buy stock when it's lower so that you can gain returns on it, and you sell when you've reached your max on it, and you're trying to, basically project that you're gonna lose on it if you continue to hold on it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so okay, we'll go back to grades. So we'll back to the top. Kota Ibushi.
This is too hard. This is too hard for me.
Kota Ibushi. I'm going A+.
I would go A+ with Kota Ibushi. This makes so much more sense in my mind.
Kazuchika Okada. I'm also going A+.
A+, absolutely.
Evil. I'm going flat B.
I agree. Flat B.
Will Ospreay. I'm going A+.
I would too. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. Okada, I'm going just A.
Okay.
I would go just A on Okada.
Kenta. I'm going flat B.
I would go B-.
Okay. Tanahashi. I'm going B+.
I agree. B+.
Bad Luck Fale. I'm going C-.
Same.
Sonata. B+.
Yep.
Zack Sabre Jr. flat B.
Same.
And Lance Archer. A+.
I would go A+ on Lance Archer. My God.
And then on to the B block. Switchblade Jay White. I'm going B. I think actually B+.
I would go flat B.
B. Actually, yeah.
I'd go flat B.
I'll stick to my grade. Yeah, flat B. I was thinking about the final match, but yeah, overall flat B. John Moxley. I'm going flat A.
I would go A-.
Okay. Tetsuya Naito. I'm going flat C.
I would go C+.
Okay. Hiroki Goto. I went C+.
I would go flat C on Goto. Well, you know what? Goto had a pretty good tournament.
Yeah.
I'd go B-.
Okay. Taichi. I went C+.
B-.
Tomohiro Ishii. A+.
A+.
Juice Robinson. B+.
Yeah, I agree.
Jeff Cobb. I went flat C.
C-.
Toru Yano. I went C+.
A. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'd go C+. It's fine.
And then last but not least, the Dragon Shingo Takagi. I'm going flat A.
Flat A. Okay, so before we talk about MVPs, A block MVP. Who's your MVP of the entire A block?
My MVP of the A block would have to be the aerial assassin Will Ospreay.
Over Kota Ibushi.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
But obviously he won the whole tournament. The finals was epic. But if you're comprehensively looking at the whole tournament,
night after night,
I think it's Will Ospreay. Every match was pretty much above 4 stars, for the exception of the Fale match. And Will Ospreay gave most people their best match.
I agree. And then in the B block, it's obviously Tomohiro Ishii. So who is our MVP of the entire tournament?
Overall MVP of the whole tournament, the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. This guy, pretty much every match above 4 stars, gave everybody their best match in the tournament. This guy was just great, man.
Is Ishii the best wrestler in the world right now?
There's a great argument for it.
We say that every year. Been saying it every year for 8 years now? It's crazy.
So now we're getting into the top 10 matches, but first a question from Reddit user Zack Saber Time. He says, now the G1 is finally over, what was your favorite match? So far, everyone I've asked has had different answers. Mine has been Ospreay versus Tanahashi. Also, Jeremy, are you ready for the 5-star Grand Prix? Otami versus Kayona. About to get my 7.25 stars soon.
Whoa, Zack Saber Time. I watch Stardom as well. I'm ready for the G1.
Honestly,
I don't. That's a lie.
I've been so behind on Stardom in the last month. I've kind of know what's going on with James. They've been doing Stardom on One Nation Radio. kind of keeping us updated. I haven't watched anything in a while, so I don't even know if I'm sure I'll kind of cherry pick the 5-star Grand Prix. I'm not sure if I'll watch the whole thing. We'll see. But as far as our favorite matches, so we'll get into that with our top 10 lists. Do you want to start from 1 down, or should we go 10 up to 1?
Let's start with 10, but before we do that, I want everyone to know, guys, there was a lot of matches in the 4.5-star range. A lot. So this is our top 10. We whittled it down to the top 10. There are going to be matches that you probably think should be in the top 10, and there's probably a good argument for that, but it's really hard when you have that many great bangers in this tournament to whittle it down to 10. So anyone who hears this list, go easy on us, because this was really hard. But
yeah.
These are our top 10.
So coming in at number 10, Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi from Night 1 in Dallas, 4.5 stars.
Number 9, Shingo Takagi versus Tetsuya Naito, Night 14, 4.5 stars.
Number 8, Kota Ibushi versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, Night 13, 4.5 stars.
Night 7, Tomohiro Ishii versus Juice Robinson from Night 10, 4 3/4.
Number 6, Tomohiro Ishii versus Jon Moxley from Night 6, 4.75.
Number 5, Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada, Night 17, the A Block final, 4 3/4.
Number 4, Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada from Night 7, 4 3/4.
Number 3, Tomohiro Ishii versus Shingo Takagi from Night 16, 4 3/4.
And then our number 2 match of the tournament, Will Ospreay versus Kota Ibushi from Night 5, 5 stars.
And finally, in first place, the number 1 match of the G1 Climax 29, Jay White versus Kota Ibushi, Night 19, the G1 Climax Finals. Second year in a row that the G1 Climax Finals has been the best match of the entire tournament. Go figure. Just so everyone knows, these are Jeremy's star ratings, not Josh's. But yeah, what a freaking list.
Yeah. So,
what a freaking list, bro.
Yeah, so Zack Sabre time, Jay White and Kota Ibushi was my overall favorite match of the tournament.
That's my favorite match of the tournament too, although I'm really, really high on Ishii and Juice Robinson. And for some weird reason, I'm really high on Archer and Ibushi.
Obviously, Ishii and Shingo.
I gotta see it.
You gotta watch that match, man.
I agreed to this top 10 list based off of, not just Jeremy's opinions, but also just general consensus and everyone saying it's a banger. So
right, and I've kind of looked at, Grapple's kind of put out his top 10, and I've kind of looked at some other people, what they've been saying, and I feel like majority of the matches that I've had kind of lines up with majority. I think
we get it. You're an accurate star rater.
The one glaring omission from my list that was on most other people's lists was Okada and Sonata. A lot of people had that.
I wasn't as high on Okada and Sonata as other
Same
people.
here. A lot of people had it 4.5.
And it's a great match.
So, yeah, I went 4 1/4 on it.
Great match.
But yeah.
Yeah. So you ready to get in the news?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to us, sticking through with us. This has been the highest and most downloaded and listened to period of Keeping It Strong Style's history. I only see positive things going forward, but man, we've had so many awesome interactions with you guys, and we really, really appreciate you guys listening and all your support.
Yes, thank you guys so much. This show is nothing without you.
So, in the news, so the attendance 31,440. That's for the last. That's for the last.
The last 3 Budokan shows.
Okay, the last 3 Budokan shows combined. That's 1,125 attendees up from the last 3 days total at Budokan from last year. The big difference here is that they ran these shows on Saturday, Sunday, and then a holiday Monday this year versus last year, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which that's still pretty significant boost.
Yeah, and I didn't put the A block and B block numbers in here, but the A block was up, I believe it was about 3,500 compared to last year, over 9,000.
That's crazy. The A block always vastly underperforms to the B block in the finals night, and the fact that many people attended on the A block finals, that's crazy.
And then the B block finals was in the,
They were down a little bit.
They were down, but it still drew more than the A block finals.
Yeah. And it always will. So that's not really a shock.
Right.
But I mean, it was down a little bit.
And then the overall final attendance for the final night, it was 12,014 fans, which was down from last year's 12,112. But the reason it was down was because it was confirmed because of production, with the stage being bigger.
Didn't I say that's where it might be? I said I was like, that stage is bigger. That might be why.
So it was a legit sellout again.
So it wasn't the Naito fans.
So with, with the bigger stage, a few hundred less fans could fit in there.
So Kota Ibushi did a press conference. What was that, earlier today?
Yeah, I believe it was today. Was it today? So yeah, it was posted on August 13th. It's up on NJPW1972.com. You can go ahead and check it out. A lot of interesting comments in there. One of the most interesting, like I mentioned earlier, he said he wants to defend the briefcase against Evil and Kenta. Also, he said that he plans on challenging for the IWGP title on January 4th in the main event on night 1. But then he also said that he wants to challenge for the Intercontinental title on the second night because he still loves the white belt.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. Yeah, so definitely check that out, NJPW1972.com. The big news coming out of the last few days, the Super J Cup brackets and the full lineup has been revealed.
Yep, so on the left side of the bracket...
And I just want to say, I called this.
On the left side of the bracket, we have Will Ospreay taking on the Amazing Red in what should be an epic dream match. We have Sho versus Taiji Ishimori. We have Clark Connors from the LA Dojo taking on TJP, who's an original LA Dojo guy. We have Robbie Eagles and El Phantasmo in a big first round match. Then moving on to the right side of the bracket, we have Ryusuke Taguchi against Jonathan Gresham. Yo versus Dragon Lee. Caristico versus Bushi. And Rocky Romero versus Soberano Jr.
That's a pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, and I know Zach, he asked us which first round matches are we both looking forward to seeing other than Bill/Amazing Red. Which potential matches would you like to see? I feel like we should hold off.
He calls him Bill.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I feel like we should hold off on all Super J Cup predictions and previews for next week. So we'll hold on to that question for next week.
They did announce a Super J Cup meet and greet, which will be taking place before the first few nights, and I believe the tickets, have they gone on sale yet for that?
I don't think they've gone on sale, but they have announced the people who would be at them. So in Tacoma, August 22nd, you'll have the chance to meet Robbie Eagles and Dragon Lee. The 24th in San Francisco, you have the chance to meet Juice Robinson, Will Ospreay, and Ryusuke Taguchi. And then on the last night, August 25th, looks like you get Bushi, Roppongi 3K, Tetsuya Naito, TJP, and the Amazing Red.
By the way, Amazing Red in his New Japan profile pic, he's looking jacked.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Did you also notice that Doki's gone?
Yes, Doki's profile.
Doki's profile
has been removed, yeah.
Oh my god.
So tickets go on sale Thursday, August 15, noon Pacific time.
That's great. Yep, so we're looking forward to that. In other news, the Royal Quest full card has been revealed. Some interesting news about this show. It will be airing live on Fight TV, but it's going to be on video on demand 3 days later on NJPW World. So Fight TV is paying for the production and the setup of this event, which is kind of shocking. It's like... Were you have to pay for this now?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same deal as Southern Showdown. Southern Showdown was the production and everything was paid mostly by Fight. Fight got the rights and then went up on New Japan World 3 days later. So same thing's happening here. It's going to be $24.99 on Fight.
Oh, God.
So if you want to watch it day of, it's airing 12:30. If you want to watch it day of, you have to drop the 24. If not, you have to wait. I mean, I'm probably going to drop the 24.
All right, looks like we're having a New Japan watch party, and y'all can throw in.
Right. I mean, I was already planning on, because it's going to be Royal Quest all out that day.
This card is awesome, though. Like, it's really awesome. So I feel better about paying for it than I did the Super Showdown.
Yep, so we have Narita Umino Taguchi against Shoyo and Rocky Romero. Juice and Ibushi versus Hikuleo and Yujiro Takahashi. Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay taking on El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, non-title match. We have Sonata and Naito versus Chase Owens and Jay White. Then we have the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions on the line. Guerrillas of Destiny will defend against the winner of the Rev Pro Tag Team Tournament.
Hopefully it's going to be Friends of the Network Aussie Open.
Yeah, that would be great. And then in the sixth match, we have the Never Openweight Championship match. Tomohiro Ishii defends against Bullet Club's Kenta.
Banger. That's going to be a banger.
That's going to be great. Then the seventh match, we have the British Heavyweight Championship on the line. Zack Sabre Jr. defends against Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then the main event of the evening, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, Kazuchika Okada in his third defense against the King, Minoru Suzuki.
Man, awesome card. And we're going to give you guys full coverage and predictions, previews on that here in the next few weeks for sure. To close out the news here, so December tryout applications are now open for for the LA Dojo?
This is for Tokyo Dojo.
Tokyo Dojo.
Yeah, so it says in December, New Japan Pro Wrestling will be holding its annual dojo tryout test in Tokyo. So if you have what it takes, you can be part of the next generation of young lions.
Also, the free match of the week is the finals from the first ever Super J Cup, when Wild Pegasus, those of you who don't know, you know who Wild Pegasus is, but Wild Pegasus took on the Great Sasuke in what was literally, for many, many, many years, people considered the best match ever in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. I think those days are long past, but I mean, even up until like about 6 or 7 years ago, you ask almost any Pro Resu fan what the best New Japan match ever was, they would have told you this match. If you've never seen it, it is on NJPW. It is on NJPW World. Go out of your way and watch Wild Pegasus versus Great Sasuke. It's the free match of the week. Not only that, get your hands on this freaking original Super J Cup from '94 and watch it. It's maybe one of the greatest tournaments of all time.
Great way to get you hyped up for this year's Super J Cup.
Yep. And some other news that I just read for the first time, and it's blowing my mind. Defy Wrestling was able to get Jushin Thunder Liger in the ring with Brian Pillman Jr. before Liger retires for the Defy show on August 23rd. It is going to be featuring New Japan talent Liger, Carl Fredericks, Clark Connors. They'll be facing Pillman and the Defy Tag Team Champions, the American Guns. Yeah, bro, sign me up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome that Defy was able to get that done.
And my recommended match of the week this week is the UWFI rules match from Wrestle Kingdom 9 as the King, Minoru Suzuki, takes on the greatest Japanese MMA fighter of all time, Kazushi. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Yeah, Kazushi Sakuraba. Am I saying that right? I've had such a long day. Like, what the heck is wrong with me? Bro.
I know the name Sakuraba. I didn't know what his first name was.
Why do I, forget name? Yeah, Kazushi Sakuraba. What's wrong with me? Like, I started double guessing myself. Like, I've had such a long day. This day's been crazy. Guys, and it sucks too because Kazushi Sakuraba is like my favorite Pride fighter ever. Like, of all time. I've seen every single fight he's ever had. This match, I wanted to recommend it because there's many of you who have seen it. If you came in with the original wave of Western fans during that initial Wrestle Kingdom 9 show, Jeremy, I'm pretty sure you've seen this match, right?
Yeah, because that was the Jeff Jarrett show.
Yeah, that's Jeff Jarrett show.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite. It's a very underrated gem. At the time, people loved it. I feel like people don't talk about it as much anymore. But I wanted to bring it up, obviously, because the current resurgence that we're about to see of the great Minoru Suzuki. Guys, if you've never seen this match, it is freaking violent. It is freaking awesome. And it's two of the greatest legends of MMA and shoot pro wrestling and Japanese pro wrestling, just in general, in a dream matchup in the Tokyo Dome. You get to see freaking Minoru Suzuki in the white gear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to see this match to see what I'm talking about, because that's vintage Minoru Suzuki. I love this match. This is go watch this. It'll get you so hyped for the upcoming Royal Quest. And yeah, that's my recommended match of the week. Sakuraba versus Minoru Suzuki.
Boom, check it out. Well, that's going to wrap things up.
Oh my god, the G1's over, bro. We freaking did
it. Next week, we'll be back with the Super J Cup preview and predictions. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, I am at Jeremy L. Donovan. The show is at KI Strong Style. You can also follow us at Social Suplex. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/Social Suplex. You can also find us in the Wrestling Squared Circle group, facebook.com/group/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Reddit, I am the Pro Black Guy. Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. You can email me, jeremy@socialsuplex.com. Make sure you check out all the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio, hosted by Rich Latta and James Boyd. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show from Scotland. Every other Wednesdays, we have our podcast dedicated to independent wrestling. Grown Men Watch This Shit, hosted by Jeremy Tate and Chris Bryan. On Fridays, we have Get in the Ring with Danny and Beast Mike. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite with Floyd Johnson Jr. and Amy O. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating, and review. And we will catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Golden Star.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.